Okay, I can't wait. I can't wait. Hi, everybody. How are you? Welcome. How you doing? Good to see you. I'm back in our usual studio. I'm back home again after the trip to DC. It was lovely. It was a great birthday. Lots of wonderful memories made and lots of fun experiences. As a matter of fact, right out of the gate, if you'll allow me, point of privilege, Your Honor. This is some of the pics from my trip. Yeah, that's right. I've turned into that guy. There's me in front of the White House holding up a "Congratulations, Joe" sign, which I tweeted. This is the COVID memorial. These are all going by too fast. This is the setup on here. Let me show you this. So this is Summer and I. We were at the Capitol. That's the Supreme Court building in the background over there, right over here. This is fancy dinner number 2. We had fancy dinner number 1 as well. I'm back in there. I'm behind the little blue cube. Summer and I went to see the Kennedy Center's Symphonic opening that just happened to be on my birthday this year. It was their 50th anniversary and the sort of relaunch of the season. Everything delayed because of COVID and kept getting punted. And then Summer had she asked me what I wanted to do in DC. And one of the things I said was I would love to see the National Symphonic Orchestra and the National Symphony Orchestra. And so she managed to get us tickets, and they were lovely tickets, and they were not terribly overwhelming. It was Scheherazade, I think a Russian composer, ironically enough, of 1001 Arabian Nights story, kind of. It was in 4 parts, and then there was an original piece by a local DC composer that was done at first, and then I'm blitzing on the second piece right now. I'd have to look at the program, but it was a wonderful night. It was a wonderful evening, and if you don't go to the symphony because you think it's for old people or ridiculous or something that seems like something you're not allowed to do, or you have to dress up for it too much or any of that stuff, none of that is true. You should go. And I have to be completely honest with you. I was a weepy mess this whole trip. As many of you know, I am a sentimental son of a bitch. I really am. It's very easy for me to get weepy-eyed and melancholy about things that I haven't experienced yet, but that I will know I will miss after they're gone. I'm not kidding. I was in, this is the 50th anniversary of the Kennedy Center, the opening night of the symphonic season. And when they started tuning up, I started tearing up. It was like, ba 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 ba. It was such the timing of it. Luckily, a mask will catch most of your tears, and mine are way up in my face. So there are a couple of moments in this. If I get weepy again because of when I'm telling you the experience, you'll deal with it. I don't know what to tell you. So, this is a picture I took on the reflecting pool of the over there on the side. I've got a little, you can see my cursor, of the Washington Monument. Me in front of the space shuttle. These are the tiles under the space shuttle, which I'm going to make into a desktop. This guy, see, will this bring it up? Yeah. Is an actual shot of the I got a pretty smooth shot once I moved it. I'll make a loop of it later. That is the mothership from Close Encounters, and they have the original model. It's really cool. They had an area next to the space shuttle and stuff. There's sort of inspirational stuff, kind of over in a corner, and that was there. And then they had some Star Wars action figures and Star Trek in the same point. And I share a birthday with Mark Hamill. He and I both had a birthday on Saturday, and William Shatner wished me a happy birthday, which is, I mean, on your bucket list of things, unprovoked, that's amazing. I mean, yes, that's Udvar-Hazy. Yes, that's the museum we're at. Normal Knot. And that's on the recommendation of our dear friend Carl Alessi. I've been wanting to go for a long time, but this time we made it a priority. So it was really lovely. So that's that. This I loved. This is just, it says unusual cloth helmet with built-in goggles. Yes, very much so. This looks like a prop from Captain America, the first Avenger. I just love this thing. I had to take a picture of it. Especially on the weird white face. It makes it even... He calls me Sparkles. Yes, William Shatner has a nickname for me. Yeah, I know. It's awesome to be me. It really is. And that is not lost on me. Like, you have to understand something about me. Okay, you know how the Hulk, in that one scene in the Avengers, says, I'm always angry, and then he turns into the Hulk. And then there's this principal idea, anyways, that Superman is always flying because he weighs somewhere in the order of like 6,000 pounds. Okay, so he always has to be flying because his molecular density is such, that's why you can't shoot him with a bullet. And so his mass is so compacted, that's why he's bulletproof. So he's always got to fly just a little bit, even when he's walking, right? So that he doesn't leave giant holes in the ground and like, Clark, you're cracking the tile again, bruh. That kind of thing. So that's my own personal theory, and in the Science of Superman, everybody there backed me up. But on top of that, I am always 14-year-old Hal freaking out that my life turned out as well as it did. Just know that about me. And part of being a melancholy son of a bitch about these things and being so like easy to tear up is because I'm just overjoyed. So there you go. Now, this is Anita. You guys probably know Anita. Anita's a spider. She's in a jar. That's Anita. Anita is the first spider in space that we know of. I'm not going to rule out anything that might have happened in the Tower of Babel story or anything. But Anita was part of an experiment in space at the space station to see if spiders could make webs in zero gravity. Oh, you got some strange looks when you wore your 5 eggs today? That's awesome. You should, because it's worth an explanation. I try to make conversation starters. But they called her Anita. And for the first few webs were a bit fucked up. They were a bit, she wasn't doing very well. Yes, I'm grateful. That's one of my permanent states. I'm grateful the way the Hulk is always angry. So Anita started to make webs, and they were like she was kind of like, how the fuck am I supposed to do this? And then after they thought that would be they reported back those findings, and they said, yeah, because spiders can't, this screws them up. And then she recovered. There were 2 others too. They only named this one because she was probably the biggest and the most productive. But they eventually were able to make spider webs. Very well. They adapted. So there you go. Pretty cool. This is the only picture I took in Arlington Cemetery. This is actually by the Kennedy Memorial, where again I became a weepy mess, and then, as if that wasn't bad enough, we went to the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, where I completely fell apart because we were there for the changing of the guard. Too weepy to focus. That's right. I'm an easy get in those areas. And in Arlington in particular, everywhere you look, there's a hero. Everywhere. everywhere someone died giving their life for everybody else. Whole place is full of those stories. It's overwhelming. Even people who survived the war and were buried there later, the stories that are written on their tombstones and stuff, it's just, And, I think between Summer and I, we uttered about 15 words the whole time we were there. But there were some chatty people we passed on a couple of the paths, and all right. I also I also have a very hostile side. Is that alert thing making noise? I apologize. Yes, I have an inner rage when people are disrespectful in public unnecessarily. There are certain times when disrespect is necessary because the person that you are supposed to hold in esteem is not worth respecting, and therefore, and they're present, and they're currently doing something that you think is wrong, and therefore, right. But shit talking political parties and that kind of stuff, when you're walking around Arlington Cemetery, what was that? Hold on, I missed this. Why do you wear the Punisher shirt sometimes? Because I like the character, and I find the story heartbreaking. And in many ways, he is a Frankenstein character made by circumstance instead of a mad scientist. So the allegory for our own rage is present in the Punisher story. And I will stand by the fact that I don't believe there's ever been a Punisher television series. We'll get to that later. That said, I also do not allow my political opponents to seize things from me that I value. So if they usurp some character I like, or some image that I like, or some symbol that I like, they don't get to keep it. Okay? I'm still going to give the okay sign when things are okay, because why would I let Reddit assholes turn that into a white supremacist sign? You understand me? I'm not letting them have it. And it's bad enough that the Nazis were able to take a Tibetan symbol for luck, invert it, and turn it into their own. And people just kind of forget it. They just kind of, the Tibetans and the Chinese in that area, that's whatever. They used to have that. Now it means what the Nazis say it means, right? Don't worry, I'm not going to try and bring back the Chaplin mustache anytime soon. See what I'm saying? So I don't, anything that that's a race, racists have used that. Well, who gives a shit? I know we're so close, Andrea. We're less than 100 away from 25K. I'm very excited. Now, we're taking back 666 too, which was actually the number for the Roman Empire when they had to use numeric code to teach Christianity during those times so they'd get killed and whatever. Anyway, so this is the most important sign you will see in Arlington Cemetery. There are a lot of moving plaques. There are a lot of moving memorials. But as far as signs go, this is the one. So if you are ever there, shut the fuck up. I can't tell you. Yeah. So anyways, it's not surprising, there were some angry Trumpers wandering around DC at any given time, and they were being assholes. I don't know if they know how else to be, but one would think that they would reserve that for places other than Arlington. Right? I mean, everybody there died for people that they would never know their political party. They died for your freedom to be an asshole, so show them some respect by choosing that optional behavior somewhere else. And that drove me crazy. So I took that picture, and it's the only one I could manage. Um, um, we also, like I said, we went to, I didn't take any other pictures there. Just to have to remember it. This picture is from the COVID memorial. Now, I posted a little bit about this. It is shockingly overwhelming. When there's a flag there for every person who has died. And the current number when we left was 687,764. And they're constantly adding them. And people can come and plant a flag on behalf of people they love, and write something on it. But the rest of them are blank because they were put there. That's going to get me again. We did a video for Summer's Facebook channel about it, where she kind of explains it with cards so she could do it silently. And this older black lady comes up, and her name is Tasha, and she goes, "Are you doing something for social media? Are you putting something?" And she goes, "I wanted to see what your cards said." So we're reading Summer's cards, and you can see that she's going to post that piece in a little bit on her page. I told you. Her best friend had died, and she didn't know that this thing existed. She didn't know. She didn't know what this was. And she said when they were walking a little while, like in the street, they thought it was water. They thought she and the way the sun bounces off of it, they thought it was like a mirage. It was like water, and they couldn't. And then they saw people walking in the water, and they couldn't figure out why. So they decided to come down, and she told us a story about how she had to say goodbye on Zoom to sorry. She got a call. They usually had an 11 a.m. Zoom call. And she got a text that said, "Jump on Zoom early." She's like, "It's 9 o'clock. Why are we jumping on the Zoom early?" And it's because they were intubating her friend. And that was the only way the nurses could figure out from her schedule and what the patient had been doing while she was there, how they could contact. Contact anybody who knew her. And So she spoke to her on the Zoom call before they intubated her, and she only lasted a couple more days. Um, and then it was so strange that she said she thought it was water. Um, because a French tourist walked up to us, just random guy, and he went, "Excuse me, what is this?" And I said, "This is the COVID memorial. These flags represent every American who's died." And he goes, "I was walking on the mall and I saw this from far away and I thought it was water." And I couldn't understand why the people were walking in the water. So, needless to say, I warned you up front. Um, but it every day we were there, it went up 1,000 at least, and I couldn't help but think on when we went on Friday that because we went a couple of times because it's at the Washington Monument. We were um I just couldn't help but think like by Wednesday, no matter what we do, it's gonna be 690,000. Yep. It averages out that, Miss T. I mean, some of it was really fun though. Don't get me wrong. We did have some fun. I wasn't you know, a miserable mess the whole time. There was some good news. Cuz this happened Friday. So, Summer had her poster board and stuff for when she was going to make her cards. So I went and we went to CVS at one point because the shampoo bottles are just too small in a hotel for people with this much hair. And uh so I made this sign and did I get heckled? I didn't actually. There were a couple of there were these like two college age girls, which I found kind of shocking, who were getting pictures in front of the White House and they were giving the finger, and she was kind of doing it like subtly, like insta-y, Thanks, Amy. Yeah. I finally got to like wash my hair after the weekend because we were always running around, so it got lower and lower every day. Um, but for the most part, people were like, "That's great." They were like, and they took a minute to read my sign, you know. And I only had my mask off for a couple of seconds to take that picture because I also have pictures of me with my mask on, holding it up as well. But there's not like probably about 10 feet away from me. There were people gathered, right, and in and out. But it was really. I will say the first day we got there, we went straight over by the White House, and you had to stay way farther back. Thanks, Amy. Yeah, I bought this shirt in the shop that was right next to there, just to irritate the trolls even more. So, I have a bad enough glare when you can see my whole face. When I'm wearing my, my Winter Soldier-esque mask and my hair long and all that kind of stuff, I uh so much of it, I look even more severe in that circumstance. So I was as disapproving I could, as I could be without being disagreeable. Um yeah, so yeah, it was a good time. We were able to get right up to the Capitol and right up to the White House. It was pretty great. There are other pictures. I'll be sharing them, over the next little bit. But overall, like, great birthday trip. Exactly, you know, what I wanted to do. Um, you know, I believe in, adventure birthdays and that kind of stuff. It was The weather was beautiful. It was perfect. Yes, those were shuttle tiles, Momad and you. I'm making another background for the show from those shuttle tiles. So the texture that I put into the background, so that it's not just a solid blue color, I'm making one that has that shuttle tiles in it. So I specifically took a picture up under the space shuttle of the tiles for that. Thank you, Morning Glory. Millions of Americans still don't care. They protest to have their small children unprotected. A deadly pandemic. It's like living the outer limits. In fact, it's reality. 2021. Well, the human brain hasn't changed that much in the last 40,000 years. And people did this during the Spanish flu when they knew better as well. They weren't any dumber about the fact that you could catch a disease and die from it. Anyways, we'll get into all that. We'll have some fun today. Don't worry. I just wanted to share that part of my trip with you. And let's see. And when we got back, just so you know, when we where is it? Hold on, you gotta click on here. When we got back, there was a gift waiting for us. There was a new pair of kicks. I got a new pair of kicks for my birthday. Chip is now exactly shoebox size. Small, I mean, summer shoebox, not, my shoeboxes, but still, like, this is his new home. He likes to sit in this box and he scuttles back into the corner and sticks his nose through the hole. I try to get a picture, but he keeps jumping out and wanting to play. So, yeah. So that was waiting for us when we came back. Just so you know. Chip is a foster cat. We're fostering him. He was sick. By the way, you'll be happy to know, on a very happy note, his butt is better. His butt is fine. He's completely butt healed now, which is good. Like, he's solid stools, and he's not, leaving a mess everywhere he sits down. It's he's a healed kitty now, and he's got a couple more shots. I mean, I love the cat, but he needs a home, elsewhere. He's a sweetheart. He's a little cross-eyed, which makes him even more. Yes, that's right. For those of you who haven't been up on Chip's butt problems, the other cats, Murphy has grown to love him. Murphy always hates the kittens that we take in until they're about a week from leaving, and then they become buddies, and then he's brokenhearted for a week. It's so obvious. And he hasn't learned the lesson, though, that he'll learn to like them, so he's just still, we bring new kittens in, he's still an asshole to them. Like, dude, you're gonna love them. Just start earlier. You'll have more time together. So, yeah. Oh, happy birthday, James. And my dad's birthday is tomorrow. So, and my mom's birthday, of course, some of you may know, was on my birthday. We both have the same birthday. So, actually, my birthday is on my mom's birthday. I share my mother's birthday is how I like to look at it. I haven't checked my mail yet. We just arrived this morning. We took a red eye back. So I landed, collapsed, fell asleep up till about an hour and a half ago, got up, took a shower, cleaned up, made sure all my gear was kind of working. Hopefully, fingers crossed. That's how it will work. It seems to be okay. So we can do the, Murphy is a great name. It's true. I finally got my first COVID vaccine today. Seeing flags in DC via summer made me feel, made my feet move. Oh, that's awesome, Miss T. My dad will be 81 tomorrow. Yeah, the Sparks family just comes into heat once a year. It's so true. We're Valentine's babies. It's Valentine's Day, man. It's 9 months from Valentine's Day, give or take. Right? We won't be born on the dot, but we're in that zone. Your uncle will be 78. That's awesome. It's nice catching up with the chat in here. Hi, Katie Mary in Australia. Yeah, that was another piece of good news. In that R. Kelly guilty on all counts. You know, I have to say there's some bittersweet about it because the man is massively guilty of sexual assault, and ultimately he's getting racketeering in the Mann Act. But you take what you can get, and nobody has given him some loose deal like they gave Cosby, and so he and Weinstein can sell up. Okay, so hey, shall we start a show? You guys want to start the show? Because we have to cut into some of this today. Trump did his rally in Perry, Georgia, and it was a bum burner. So I feel like I have not watched any of it. I feel like it will be hilarious. It was trending with Matt Gaetz. How funny. Yeah. Why are the states paying for audits when Trump is going to say he won anyway? What a waste. Just pretend you recount. Yeah. Getting my booster on October 7th. That's great. The Mann Act irony. Yeah. MANN, I believe. Mom also got her Pfizer booster on Friday. That's great. Need some funny time. Yeah, let's dial it back. We'll have some, regular part of the show today. The rally will make me mad. I don't think so. Cause let's start off with a prelude to what we're about to watch. We're gonna go into the Trump, we're not gonna do all of it. We'll do like a half hour of it today because it's 90 minutes, and so we don't need. I want to do the whole thing, but I'll sparse it out over a couple days. You have to understand. I see. That's where the sound's coming from. Boink. You have to understand. I don't believe any of the hype around Trump. I just finished, by the way. Let me see if I can bring it up. I just finished the book Peril. I read it over the my birthday weekend. Where are you, Bookie Books? There it is. Books. Yeah. Son of a. I just read it over the holiday. And can I, yeah, here we go. Open that up. And I made some notes in it that I thought were particularly telling. Let's see. Notes, yeah. Why does it open it that way? Okay, here's what I want to read. Chapters, and I looked at what chapter it was, and I was like, of course. Chapter 69. Chapter 69. Let me open this up a little bit and bring it up so I can show it to you guys. This I thought was funny in this regard, and I'll use the big screen again so you can see the text a little bit better. That's helpful sometimes. This guy right here. Shrink this down a touch. There we go. Bring it over here. So this is chapter 69, because of course. Blinken went back to the Taliban through intermediaries in Doha, Qatar, with the proposal of delaying the U.S. withdrawal. It vacillates between stories about Trump and stories about Biden. So this is after the 6th, after inauguration, all this stuff, and them dealing with Biden's. This is Biden's kind of thought process around Afghanistan, and I found parts of it particularly illuminating. It's a fascinating chapter. Blinken went back to the Taliban through intermediaries in Doha, Qatar, with the proposal of delaying the U.S. withdrawal. The Taliban rejected it, saying that if the U.S. sought to delay the May 1 when May 1 rolled around, if not sooner, the Taliban would start attacking U.S. forces with and provincial capitals. So even if they didn't end up killing our people, they were going to just start firing on capitals and claiming land. That was the last thing Biden wanted. New U.S. casualties after a 1-year hiatus under Trump would be a political disaster. Yeah, I don't know why Woodward puts it that way. Also dead people. Bob. Also dead people. Blinken shifted again, concluding that the 3,500 U.S. troops were a bare minimum and not sufficient leverage with the Taliban. While 10,000 U.S. troops might have provided the leverage, Blinken couldn't prove it, meaning that we have 3,500 in there. If we had 10,000, they wouldn't be talking so tough, but then we'd have to leave 10,000 troops in there. Biden reminded Blinken that 6 years ago in 2015, Biden, by the way, reminded Blinken that 6 years ago in 2015, when Biden was vice president, they were in the Situation Room debating whether to extend the U.S. troop commitment. Military leaders had made the case they need to extend for another year. I'm sorry, I'm in the way. So maybe actually it's better to go to this guy right here so you guys can see this. They said the last remaining piece to make, let's see, this part's like needs to be attached to this. They said, the last remaining piece to make Afghanistan military self-sufficient and stand on its own feet was putting in place their ability to build supply lines and conduct aircraft maintenance. And that was supposed to take 1 more year. That was 6 years ago, Biden reminded Blinken, and it still had not happened. 6 years ago. There was no better example of the military hiding the gold watch. Blinken consulted with some of the former secretaries of state. It was a very informal club. One asked, oh, by the way, the gold watch thing is that in here? Yeah. Let's see. Can you go? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So this is what that's in reference to. Biden told Obama that the military was selling him bullshit on the war. Biden knew from years in the Senate the military was burying Obama in jargon because they had a thing called Operation Poignant Vision that showed sending anything less than 40,000 troops would be a disaster in the region. This is when they were trying to do it. He goes, it's like the Catholic school kid. They teach you about confession and the priest. In 3rd grade, when you're learning to go to do penance, now, you can't go in there and say, I stole the gold chain and failed to tell the priest there was a gold watch at the end of the chain. That's what the military leaders were doing. Biden said, that's how these guys are. You got to find out if they've got a goddamn gold watch at the end of the chain. He added, a lot of this is new to the president. So that's what he's talking about in the gold watch analogy in this. And so that's where he says right here, there was no better example of the military hiding the gold watch. The 6 years analogy. Blinken consulted with some of the former secretaries of state. It's a very informal club. One asked, do people remember who was running Afghanistan on September 10th, 2001, the day before the terrorist attacks? It was the Taliban. They'd been charged for 5 years. Was the United States about to go to war to take down the Taliban because they didn't like what they were doing? No. Why now? We didn't go to Afghanistan to make it a Jeffersonian democracy, Blinken finally concluded. Austin also agreed, and by the way, this is Biden directing Blinken on all this. This part of the book is so fascinating. It's great. I mean, there's a lot of like, I read it like, there you go. Go there. Okay, so, for all the folks that don't know how the negotiations around the $1.9 trillion package, the rescue package earlier this year, Ron Klain was shitting himself with fear at a couple points, fearing that Biden was going to give away the farm and all this stuff, and basically buying the stuff that the Progressive Caucus was selling him in the House. And so he was like, every time he would meet with the Republicans, Klain was getting all nervous about this. He would sit in the meeting shaking his head, and they're like, who the fuck is this guy sitting in the corner shaking his head? He's not part of negotiations, right? So sitting in the Oval Office on February 1st, Portman tried again, this time directly addressing Biden to pull him back from his left-leaning temptations. That's the way he put it. He told Biden he was not enthralled by parts of the rescue plan he believed had nothing to do with the pandemic. That included the child tax credit, he said, and he noted the Internal Revenue Service had told him and others it would probably take a long time to implement it. Passing the child tax credit will not immediately help families dealing with the virus, Portman said. He said the economy was improving, with the nation's gross domestic product poised to bounce back. By the way, this is pre-Delta. We've worked together in the past, Biden said. I know that, sir, Portman said. Biden would not back off his approach or his numbers. Klain vehemently disagreed with Portman's characterization of the child tax credit. Would implementing it be hard? Of course. Asking the IRS to do anything was a challenge, but it was doable. He started to shake his head again. Collins glared at Klain. By the way, Susan Collins is apparently the one who's always mad at Ron Klain for shaking his head in meetings. White House aides perked up when Senator Shelley Moore Capito of West Virginia began to speak. So they were talking about insurance and, the insurance. Okay, this was fascinating. This is the most Biden part of this whole negotiation. They were trying to knock his number down in half, and when they came back with their additional money, it was 5%. That's what they were given. They were given an extra 5%. And so in this, it says, Capito, he goes, Biden said he was happy to discuss Capito's suggestion. He then declared, I'm definitely sticking with September. This is when they're talking about when the moratorium on the extended unemployment would end. Let's get back to areas of agreement, Biden said, turning to Collins. And by the way, this sentence, it comes up, I'm definitely sticking with September. Joe Manchin, 2 chapters later, thinks he's the one who came up with the September deadline. It's amazing. Biden had already come to, this is the date we're going to need to do this. The economists and everybody are telling us this is when we can kind of start moving back to semi-normal without totally capsizing people. We'll have to do some special stuff for those who are hanging on, but for the most part, we'll be able to move away from it in September. And they had it extending to October, basically to walk Manchin and others back to the number that they already had in mind. Let's get back to areas of agreement, Biden said, turning to Collins. You have a way of doing, he's talking to Susan Collins, you have a way of doing small business in your bill. He knew aid to shuttered businesses was one of her core issues. She had been a regional director for the SBA in George H.W. Bush's administration before being elected to the Senate. I have a way of doing small business. They're roughly the same size, Biden said. Both had plans for $50 billion. You know what? I'll put aside mine and I'll do it your way. We could replace my small business plan with your small business plan. We can do that. Now, $50 billion includes discretionary income. They can obviously shuffle this stuff around. Collins was receptive. Good. Our goals are the same. The discussion continues. Civil and circular. Biden stuck to his $1.9 trillion, frequently looking down at one of his memos or his notebook. The Republicans stuck at $618 billion. Biden adjourned the meeting. He said his staff would follow up with them. Brian Deese will be in touch with you. Right, Brian? Klain believed Biden had handled the meeting well. Some of the Republicans later told others they began to wonder if this was all a show. Biden was just having a meeting to say he tried. It'd be hard to believe. Joe is not the type of guy to lead them on and then bolt, right? Which is so ironic. Jesus Christ. The fact that this is the thinking of the Republicans, that Joe wouldn't lead them on. Yeah, I'm reading. This is from Peril. This is Bob Woodward and Costa's book. The fact that this was the thinking from Republicans is frigging hysterical. The Republicans are like, all of them got amendments into stuff, the ACA, and then never voted for it. The same thing with the rescue package. They got input in it and then never voted for it, even though over 60% of their constituents want it. Same thing with the infrastructure bill. Same thing with the 3.5 trillion bill, which is actually not going to be 3.5. It's going to end up being under 3. It's probably, I would say, 2.6, 2.8, something like that. And everybody will feel like, oh my God, look how much money you shaved off this, and still. Yeah. And he had given them an hour more than scheduled. Now, an hour more than scheduled? He was an hour longer with the president. Susan Collins went outside and literally said, he gave us like a lot of time. This is amazing. Yeah, Collins was delighted. Here it is. It was a very good exchange of views, Collins told reporters standing in her winter coat outside the White House that night. I wouldn't say we came together on the package tonight. No one expected that in a 2-hour meeting. She said, I practically gushed. And I meant it because the president had given us 2 hours. He listened carefully to us. It was an excellent, productive meeting from my perspective. Yeah, work. The irony is that both Portman, Collins, they got huge input, literally swapping out how funds would be spent and the method to shore up small businesses. Which, by the way, the Collins and Biden business, like, nobody's going to come up with that variant a deal. It wasn't that far off. The trail wasn't that big a switch, but still. Biden was like, tell you what, we'll just scoop out mine, put yours in. You have a $50 billion addition to this, this package that's going to help small businesses. This is back with the rescue package, which passed anyways. Yeah. Anyways, I thought the whole thing was, the book was fascinating. It, if you've already been through this stuff, there's clearly a bunch of stuff you'll already know, and then of course, if you want to know how Trump managed to handle the pandemic, this is from I Alone Can Fix It. I also finished this weekend. I read a couple books over the last week and a half. Alex Azar is talking about just calling this a pandemic when everyone's calling it a pandemic, and it is clearly, by all measures, a pandemic. At hearing Azar's suggestion about using the P word, though, Trump blew a gasket. The memory of Messonnier and the precipitous market drop still was fresh. That was when one of his CDC, the woman from the CDC said, I'm talking with my school about telelearning, that kind of thing, right? Trump said, no way, this will cause a panic, he bellowed. We will not call it a pandemic, as if that'll make it fucking go away. Trump, I swear to God, he shares so much with some of his most extreme political rivals. There are a lot of assholes out there that think you can draw a blue line on a map and create a river. How do I have time? I speed read. I make time. I have to. And it's, and I've been backed up too, so I didn't have time for a while. Trump had reason to worry. Fabrizio was in Israel around this time advising Netanyahu on his election there. Netanyahu was a keen observer of American politics, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, let me tell you something, Tony, Netanyahu told Trump's pollster. None of these Democrats can beat Donald Trump. Really, Fabrizio said? Yeah, Netanyahu replied. The only thing that can beat President Trump is coronavirus. Are you serious, Mr. Prime Minister? Yeah. If you don't understand what a pandemic is and the mathematics behind how this will spread if we don't contain it, it will collapse economies, and that changes the ball game tremendously. Okay, hi. This statement right here, this is supposed to be a rousing endorsement by Netanyahu of Trump, and the only, none of these Democrats can beat him. The only thing that can beat Trump is the coronavirus. Well, and then in the next statement, it's not coronavirus that's beating him. There are 100 ways He could have stayed president during this. Plenty of presidents have gone through horrible things and stayed president during those horrible things. The problem he has is in this quote. If you don't understand what a pandemic is and the mathematics behind how this will spread, if we don't contain it, it will collapse economies, and that changes the ball game tremendously. It's not coronavirus that Trump was running against. It was his limitation, the limitations of his intellectual capability and his empathy, his inability to give a shit. Trump's opponent in the election was his life as a second generation rich kid, always living on his dad's tit. So that I found fascinating. All these books are from different angles, of course, because they talk to different people, like Olivia Troy, or they talk to, obviously Woodward and Milley were talking a lot for the other one. But this is the problem. The only thing that can beat President Trump is the coronavirus. The only thing that can beat Trump is the coronavirus. No, that's not what you're saying at all. He's not being beaten by the coronavirus. He's being beaten by the fact that he does not understand what a pandemic is. And he does not understand the mathematics behind how it will spread if you don't contain it, and how it will collapse economies, and that it changes the ball game. That's the problem Trump has. It's so weird. Like, some of these things, when I'm reading them, I'm like, do you even listen to yourself when you're typing? Because I understand that where you're coming from, from the perspective, but, in terms of what you're used to saying in print. But come on. All right, let's get serious about having fun. Here comes Dum Dum. Clap, clap, clap. Hello. Don't. Clap, 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 clap. Clap, clap. Hey, everybody. Over there, and there's everybody up there. Hello. And what are we doing? How are we doing here? There we go. Maga, maga, maga. There you go. And who's over there? Hello. Clap, 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 clap. Hello. Squirt, 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 right in my eye. Hello. Hi, lady. Hello. Thank you. Where do I go over here? Thank you. Thank you. Yay. Oh, clap, 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 clap. I forgot there was a second verse again. Squirt, squirt. Hand job, clap, clap. Hand job, clap, clap. And I guess I should probably clap. Hand job, right on my cheek. Clap, 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 clap. Thank you. We're in a field again, in the middle of nowhere. Clap, clap, clap. No one can fill a field like I can. Hey. And there's still, by the way, the reason I don't want to get a copyright strike because of, it just keeps going on. Like, he does not know. It's been his theme song for years, and the dude does not know when to leave the car. Hello. Yes, everybody in the front row is getting the good view. Hey, point, nice signs, clap, clap. They don't look like they were all printed by the same person, by the Save America Foundation. Thank you, clap, 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 thank you. Squirt. Wee, boink. I made a cue with my hands. They'll love that. Oh, I'm tired. All right, thank you. Wow. Thank you, wow. Thank you. Yeah. Bye, everybody. Jesus. This reminds me when, 10 years after Pat Robertson ran for president, and he was like, maybe I could kick the dust off the shelf and make it back out there. Well, people like the message the first time, maybe I'll go back out there. They like me. Squirt, squirt. These strategically placed Blacks for Trump from blacksfortrump.com, by the way, Black Hebrew Israelites, a group of fellows that were aligned with the people who shot the two Jews in Brooklyn. Yeah. And yeah. Who also, by the way, screamed obscenities and homophobic epithets at the Catholic school kids that were wearing MAGA hats. Ironic. I mean, it just eats itself. Thanks, everybody, especially for well placing everyone by me. He has a way with words. It's Cult of Yahweh, those guys. It's the same thing. It really is. There's no audio on it? Oh, no, there isn't. Hold on, crap. Why not? Oh, hold on. Make sure that the desktop audio is playing. There we go. Sorry.
And I want to congratulate a team that we all love, the Georgia Bulldogs.
Hold on, wait. So you had to hear him intro. Hold on.
Special hello to.
Hold on. I want to do a very special hello to a very special place.
Much everybody. And a very, very special hello to a very, very special place, Georgia.
He does the best words. I mean, not a lot of them, but that's how you know they're the best. There's only a few. They can't all be the best. You can't have a big vocabulary and have the best vocabulary. And here comes the obligatory hack stand-up thing of mentioning local team to local people.
And I want to congratulate a team that we all love, the Georgia Bulldogs. That was a big win. You obviously have one of the best teams in the nation. That's looking like a fact.
That's looking like a fact. I mean, you could tell he's a regular watcher of the games. The what?
Obviously have one of the best teams in the nation. That's looking like a fact.
just the suck up. Oh God, that's looking like a fact. A fact. Shit.
One of their players from a few years ago with us tonight. You know, a special man. I'm thrilled to be back in this magnificent.
He doesn't remember who he was, but he introduced him, still wearing his jersey. Who was he? This is one of the most special. One of the most special people who's very special, and I want a very special welcome. Special. Yeah. Is it Herschel
with thousands
Walker?
Of hardworking, God-fearing.
He couldn't remember Herschel Walker's name all of a sudden?
Freedom-loving American patriots. And 1 year from now, Georgia is going to be a central battleground in our fight to rescue our beloved nation. We have great, great people running. Many of them are right here. Hello, Marjorie.
Ew. I love Marjorie. Do you have a fade in on the audio track? Sorry. Does it jump in? No, I don't.
With your help, we're going to take back the House and send Nancy Pelosi back to San Francisco, where she can work very hard to bring back a city which she has helped to very much destroy, just like they're destroying our nation.
Oh, it's just destroying it with the increase in jobs and the stock market going up and the decline in COVID deaths. And it's just terrible. Have you looked out a window lately? It's pandemonium.
Our nation. We're going to fire your ultra-left-wing Senator Ralph Warnock and elect the great Herschel Walker to the United States Senate. And we're going to take...
Wait, aren't they both up for election? Why is it black guy for black guy?
Back our country from these lunatics.
Yes. Yeah, that from the... Jesus.
In just 8 months, Joe Biden and the radical Democrats are well on their way to turning America into
it sounds like the audio is gated. It is a little bit...
world nation. That's what's happening. You see it here as much as anybody. I told you so during the election and during the campaign. Inflation is skyrocketing. Unemployment is rising at a level that nobody can believe mainstream.
Yes, no one can believe it because it's not true. Maybe they can't believe it because it's not believable. That might be possibly why. Get out of here with yeah. Hold on. Always end up with the people selling me stuff in my Facebook feed. Hold on. Yeah, there we go. 1 second. Yeah. Let's see. 1 second. Let's see. Okay. All right, we're back.
Are being boarded up. Murders are through the roof. You look at what's happening in these Democrat-run.
Oh, by the way, yeah, let's look at what's happening in these Democrat-run somethings or others or whatever. What is it? Murders up 30% in... What year was that? Now, you have to forgive me, because what dipshit was president in 2020? Does anybody remember? No, nobody recalls. Unprecedented spike in murders nationwide in 2020. There's some remnants left over, but hey, it takes time to clean up a mess. Like no one has ever seen. The number of murders in the United States jumped by nearly 30% in 2020 compared to the previous year. By the way, the previous year was a normal one, and it went up during a pandemic. Data shows 21,570 homicides in the U.S. in 2020, which is a staggering 4,901 more than in 2019. They'd been dropping for years, and then in the last year of the Trump presidency, bluey.
It is. Violent gangs are drugged out. Vagrants are taking over our...
What? Violent gangs are drugged out of drugged out vagrants?
It is. Violent gangs are drugged out. Vagrants are taking over our big cities, our once great cities. Corruption.
Violent gangs of drugged out vagrants? Well, I mean, just how violent can a drugged out vagrant be? I mean, it's not like they're in a hurry to get anywhere and they're completely drugged out. Violent gangs are drugged out vagrants of, oh, God.
Rampant. The senior ranks of our military have been politicized. Our leaders are issuing unconstitutional executive mandates, and our country is being turned into a migrants camp. That's what we are.
Ew, not migrants.
Other than that, how are things going?
Well, let's check. That's a good idea. Let's check right now. Let's see. 2021 stock market. Let's see. Something that he likes. Let's check. Let's see. Fourth quarter 2021 should launch a healthy 2022 stock market, according to all the measures. There you go. As expected 22. This is Forbes, not a paper that. Market today. Well, starting with crash 2021. Guess not. Here it is. The worst day since May. This is the. Let's get some bad news. Dow shed 600 points, September 19th. Yeah. This was before the rally, and then it came back the next day. Oops. Let's see. Should we look at unemployment rate? Rate US. 5.2%. Sorry, my name is hiding things. 5.2%. There you go. Let's see. State unemployment rates. This is for July 2021. National unemployment rate adjusted August 2021. Let's see. Monthly. There we go. Oh, right? Just, yeah. Okay, so when August, when Trump was president, right there, that's that big blue thing. This big blue thing. And then, yeah, it's going down. This would be the trajectory you would want in the unemployment rate. So, pretty good. All right, there we go. Murders, blood in the streets, doom. Let's see. Let's see. Should we go with, let's see, how am I doing here? COVID vaccination rates U.S. today. You know, just checking on all this stuff. There you go. There you go. Oh, look at that. Here it's down. There's January. There's March. This is when the Biden administration puts a plan in place. Voop. There we go. Steady. The plan is taking hold, getting to people, filling them out, all that kind of stuff. At least this is at least one dose. This is both doses. Fully vaccinated in there. And look at that. And it's doing pretty good. We're at 65% have at least one dose, 56% fully vaccinated. Just cleared for it looks like kids will be able to do it by Halloween. 184 million Americans vaccinated. 390 million doses given. California's doing pretty good. There you go. By New York's 63%. There you go. Who's let's see. Jersey 64%. There you go. Some high numbers. Massachusetts. Well done, Massachusetts. Let's see what the lower end. Oklahoma. What a shock. What do you think we're going to overlay with the sickness and death rate with the people who are in the areas where vaccination isn't happening? There you go. More than 6.1 billion shots given. COVID vaccine tracker. There you go. So that's pretty good. What else? And it was just my birthday, and I had a lovely meal at Joe's Stone Crab. So overall, yeah. I mean, there's still stuff to work on. We got a lot of work to do. A lot of work to do. But, you know, you got to stop and smell the roses. You can't be miserable all the time, you know. I mean, I don't know what they're upset about. They get to be in a field where when he farts, it all, you know, blows out to pasture, you know.
It's really not even believable what's going on, but
no, it isn't. That, like, again, this is, you know how he always says, I want to thank you. I want to thank to show you how awesome he is, because he's the kind of person who wants to thank people. It just shows you what a swell guy he is. It's unbelievable is him. It's part of his brain going, you do realize what you're saying is bullshit, right? This is Saturday.
Nevertheless, each and every one of us
here
here
about the Trump plan to assassinate Assange. I thought that was earlier. I thought that was CIA stuff from earlier, but they thought he was a spy. So that's, I mean, sorry, but that's how some of the people in the CIA are going to respond to spies. There's always going to be something like, why don't we just kill the fucker? You know, that kind of thing.
I must do everything.
Conversation. We'll put that put a pin in that. We'll have it another day.
We can to save America. We're talking about saving, remember?
Yeah, that's the whole theme. Is we're talking about saving. It's what we do. We say. I mean, we're not going to save 690,000 Americans because, I mean, why don't we just let it go?
Make America great again. Then I said, oh boy, now we have to do it again because what they've done. So we had Make America Great Again.
Yeah, that's a good, huh? I think it's a good thing. It doesn't sound at all like I'm putting a bumper sticker on this piece of shit and calling it a caddy. Yeah, again. See what I did there? Holy hell.
Again.
My
we
God.
made it great. Now we got to make it great again. That begins with an earth-shattering win in November.
A nerf-shattering win. Which is, it's very hard to shatter anything with Nerf. That's the good part about Murph. About Nerf.
2022. And by the way, we never forget 2020, just in case you have any.
Wait 1 second. Get back over here.
Now we got to make it great again. That begins with an earth-shattering win in November 2022. And by the way, we never forget 2020, just in case you have any question. We're not forgetting 2020.
Yeah, please don't. Please continue to gripe about that bullshit on and on. Please make it more and more apparent by the day that you're a petty, sore loser with a brutally weak ego, and that all of your followers are dying to join you on a pineapple farm.
Most corrupt election in the history of our country.
Jesus could not let it go for like one speech. He by the way, you know he's there to help get someone elected, right? That these assholes have to show up for an election and vote, right? They have to feel like they should be motivated to go and vote for someone. But yeah.
Election in the history of most countries, to be followed by an even more glorious victory in November of 2024. We're going to have a big, beautiful victory.
We're going to have a big, beautiful victory. Jesus Christ. Are the benzos kicking in? Listen to that. We're going to have a big, beautiful victory. Oh, it's still
24.
Gated when the crowd cheers? It's because it's from the audio on this thing, I think. That's what it sounds like for real. I'm sorry.
We're going to have a big, beautiful victory.
Oh, I see. So hold on 1 second. Let me see if I can... Let me see if I can tweak a little bit. Do a little of my magic. Filters. Let's take this off. Done. Now, I don't know if
we have a country left in...
Hold on. Is that better? Hold on. Let's see if you can hear his words.
2024. We're going to have a big, beautiful victory. If we have a country left in 2024, that's the problem. We're going to have a country left. And what they're doing at this level, you're not going to have a country left. There's no greater crisis.
No change. That's what it sounds like. Yeah, it's 1,000 in the chat. Welcome, guys. Thank you for joining me. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We are less than 1,000 away from, less than 100 subscribers away from 25K. I remember when we didn't even have 5,000 on this channel. We were fighting to get to that number, and it was tooth and nail. And look at us now.
Facing our nation today, then the catastrophe on our southern border. You've been watching it, and a lot of
hold on. I saw something about that. Hang on, I can't. May I? 1 second. Let's see. Del Rio camp gone. I think that'll probably do it. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I think if Trump was president, he really could have turned this into something. He could have made this last and last and last and last and last and last and last. But they processed 12,000 people. They've all got asylum hearings. 6,000 were sent back, and a few decided to go back to Mexico on their own. Yep, sounds like life happening.
the fake news, and you got a lot of them back. Look at all of those fake news.
He's literally running out of words. He's literally running out of... That's amazing. Look, but fake news is back. Look at all those fake news people. Seriously? Hold on. I have to kick back to that.
The fake news, and you got a lot of them back. Look at all of those fake news.
Look at all of those fake news. Is people that hard a word to say? Is it? Do we have a new lips problem? Yeah, it's the red lights. Now they're going to turn off the red lights, and they don't want it. Whenever I say that, blah, blah, blah. Look at all those fake news. Look at all those fake news people. People that are faking in the news, and look at all those fake news people. Wow. Yeah. Notice he veered away from that quickly. Recognize a lot fewer cameras back there than there used to be. P.S. The only people that are there covering it are OAN, Right Side Broadcasting Network, Newsmax, and then whoever the local. This is from the local affiliate. Like the local news is covering this. They're just filming the whole thing to play parts of it later.
Amazing. They're doing our country no favor. They're doing you no favor. And they're doing themselves no favor.
Well, that's all right. Wow. Sharp language. Man, he's still got it. I mean, somebody call Comic the Insult Dog and tell him to just, pack it in. We found the new Rickles. Jesus.
American sovereignty is being
extinct. Hang on. What?
Doing themselves no favor.
What's that guy doing?
American sovereignty is being
extinguished. He's just saying get out. I thought that was a different kind of salute that concerned me. From the Blacks
by
for
the
Trump.
Deliberate and willful policies put in place by Joe Biden and the left-wing extremists he has installed in power. I don't know if Joe is exactly involved. I don't know. I really don't. But somebody's really screwing up our country.
I swear to God, this is like old man at buffet with a microphone.
Destroying our country. In Del Rio, Texas, you've been watching.
Yeah, we were watching. It's over now. It's literally like, everybody go to your phones right now and look at, right.
Tens of thousands of illegal immigrants have overrun our borders.
How many?
Tens of thousands of illegal immigrants have overrun our borders in recent days while laughing in the faces of our Border Patrol agents. And they're going after the riders of the horses, not the people that came in illegally. Isn't that incredible?
No, the people that those guys were whipping with their reins didn't get in illegally. Those guys were driven back, and that group was actually stopped, made part of the camp, processed, and either expelled or allowed in, depending on their status. And you don't get to whip people. It's un-American. We're not doing that anymore. That's not happening.
And they've just put them under watch. They're in big trouble, the riders of those horses.
What the fuck are you talking? Under watch? They got desk duty. The fuck are you talking about? Yeah, this is the Georgia rally, Annie.
Most people would say they were doing one hell of a job, right? Don't you think?
It's heck of a job when you're in that part of the country, for the record.
They're in trouble. Can you believe it? One thing is,
they got desk duty. What are you talking about? And yes, it is.
This would never, ever be happening if I were your president.
That's true. This would never be happening. Whipping would be a policy. And of course, the big, beautiful wall would have been painted black, and it would totally work now. That's right. Haitians were at the border because Republicans said Biden had the borders wide open. That's exactly right. Anybody who's on the news saying we have open borders is a Republican. The only person you will see on the news saying the U.S. has open borders, we're just letting anybody in, is a Republican. There are no Democrats saying that anywhere. And by the way, they say it with complete conviction. Republicans are all over your news media saying to anybody with a microphone and a camera that we have open borders. If a migrant from another country has the false impression that we have open borders, they got it from a Republican.
75 million votes. When I was in the White House, illegal aliens knew that if they broke our laws and trespassed across our borders, they would be caught, they would be detained, and they would be thrown out of our country very rapidly. So Obama
deported more people than Trump did. I don't know how. Right.
come. They didn't come.
Yeah, they didn't come. COVID helped.
It was not worth the trip, and then you have to go back. What?
Yeah, they were making practical tourist decisions about the border. It's not really worth it. And then you have to go back, and then there's lines, and then you have to, and the snacks are so terrible this time of the year. I'd rather just have a cruise. I mean, I know it's a box kind of an experience, and you don't see the real thing, but it's nice to get out.
Worth the trip. When they made the statement, come with open arms, the world is coming into our country. They're emptying their prisons into our country. I used to say from Guatemala, Honduras, El Salvador, Mexico, but now it's from many countries all over the world, including the Middle East.
So let me, just again, if you don't know, this is a constant theme that the Mexican president, who he disagrees with politically, but is a great friend of his, is emptying his prisons of all the rapists and murderers and drug dealers and human traffickers that they have, just letting them out and just saying, head to the border, you're fine. And Guatemala is doing this, Honduras is doing this, and the idea is let's see, shall I bring up a map of Mexico? In a new window, beg your pardon. Let's see, map of Mexico. Let's see, there you go. So here we go. So let's just say we'll play along. You're and by the way, here's El Paso up here. Here's Laredo, Moros and Brownsville right over here. Let's say you're a bad hombre, I think is the word that Trump liked to use. And you're in Guatemala City. And let's say they're keeping you at a federal penitentiary in Flores, right? Guatemala. And the president of Guatemala says, all right, just let out. We're tired of feeding all these rapists and murderers. All right, all rapists and murderers, get out. Start walking. Just head to the border and then just go to the United States. Just make your way all through here. Just walk your way up here. Don't get distracted murdering and raping in Mexico City and then settle down. Keep walking. Then, but this time of year, Zacatecas is lovely. Why don't we just, no. You're going to rape and murder in the United States. You're going to keep going up this way. And then but Saltillo has great, have you ever eaten there? Some of the seafood that they have. We should just go to Tampico. Fuck it. The beaches and everything. I don't want to hear shit about beaches. You are a Guatemalan murdering rapist. You are supposed to walk straight. Don't get hung up over here in Brownsville. You'll never cross there. Dummy. You can't cross the Rio Grande near Laredo. You'll die. So keep going up here, pass through here, go through Chihuahua. Don't fuck any Chihuahuas while you're there. I know it'll be difficult, but try your best. And then keep hiking up here. And then once you get to El Paso, ask for Glenn. He'll let you in. How will I know him from the other Customs and Border Patrol agents? He's the one wearing a red beret and a Che Guevara and a Bernie Sanders pin. He's the guy without a whip. Ask him for, ask Glenn for the 15-cent discount. Yeah, if Glenn's not there, you're going to have to walk all the way to Nogales. And then at that point, you'll be met by several members of the squad will be hanging out there, pretending that they're worried about kids in cages. And they'll just wink at them, two with the right eye, one with the left, right, left. You're a rapist and murderer. You'll never, right that you want to come in and you're a rapey murderer on your chest. And then just walk through. I keep muting out. That's probably because of the words I'm using. I bet I'm being censored for the words I'm using because I'm comedying about awful things. Yeah, use the Glenn coupon. Absolutely. Shit. This is, I mean, think about just on a practical nature. Okay, Juan, we're letting you out of Hermosillo Federal Penitentiary for the really shitty, and we're letting you out on one condition. You're gonna go straight up to Nogales and go into America, and you're gonna go do your stuff up there and undermine America by going on a spree. You know how you like to do. But can I visit my mother in Zacatecas before? No, you cannot. You go straight to Nogales, no bullshit. Okay, can I use the bathroom? Sure. Pee, flush, breaking glass. He made a break for it. Come back here, you rapist, murderer guy, bad guy. I just want to see my mama. He'll be back. He's just going to Zacatecas. This is so stupid. This great plan. They're releasing all their murderers and rapists. Is there a busing arrangement? Are there big, what, did they just have like a bunch of like, hold on. I think I know, what the, where is it? Let's see if I have a, yeah. Here's a couple of guys getting off the plane coming. This is some of the guys who've just been released from the Mexican prisons, and they've just landed in Del Rio on their private plane. Aw, hi Chip.
He was crying.
He was outside my door.
Yeah.
Aw, he wants to come in and mess around. Hi, buddy. I can't pick him. I'm attached, so I can't grab him. So. I don't know if you guys, many of you don't know this, but Con Air was, if you watch it in Spanish, is a documentary. It's so stupid. They're emptying their prisons. Hi, buddy. Hi. What are you doing? What's happening? Are you going to purr for everybody? What are you doing? You want to run around behind the screen and play with things and bite everything? Is that what you want to do? Everybody, this is Chip. Chip, this is everybody. Chip's no longer got a broken butt. He's doing fine. Yeah, there you go. He's a lover, not a biter. Do you want to sit up here? What do you want to do? Do you want to get down? You want to run around and play with things, don't you? Yeah, it's very telling. There you go. You want to get down? Oh, and Maddie's here too. All right, here you go. Go run around, do stuff. Hold on. He was like, I just came down here to poop, and because the cat box is over that way. This is fucking stupid. Remember when Dave Chappelle escaped from a Guatemalan prison and made his way to the American border? Me too. They're empty. Like, what? I just want to know how he thinks this works. I swear to God. Can someone please interview Trump and go, all right, you keep saying they're releasing all their prisoners into the United States. How does that work? Are there buses? Are there airplanes? Have you seen, is there aerial photographs that are going to be a big, like... Explain to us how this works. How is this supposed to... Yes, Amazon packages. The problem is they keep... Guatemala keeps using Amazon to send their murderers and rapists up to the... I should come up with a... to send their... I don't even want to say bad hombres because that's what he calls them. Send them up to the United States. And they kept being left on the doorstep right outside the gate. And people run off of them. And they get home, they're like, hey, I got some free stuff. And they open it, and inside is a murderer or rapist. There you go. They tilt the prison on its side, and the criminals and murderers fall out. That's right. They walk up. They shrink it like Hank Pym. Oh, God, this is so stupid.
Their prisons into our country.
How? They're just tourists. How are they doing this? Does MS-13 have a bus system? Is there a version of Greyhound? How?
People coming into our country that we do not want.
Well, you think that about just about everybody.
Under my administration, we ended catch and release. We shut down asylum fraud. We struck.
Sorry. You shut down. Hold on. You shut down asylum. What?
We ended catch and release. We shut down asylum fraud. We struck historic agreements with Mexico and Central American nations to stop illegal immigration. We shut down asylum fraud. We struck historic agreements with Mexico and
you heard that right. That was we shut down asylum fart. Yeah.
Central American nations to stop illegal immigration, and we deported dangerous criminal aliens by the tens of thousands, including MS-13 killers.
Is this the point where he finds out that like MS-13 is actually a Customs and Border Patrol code for minor single child 13 and under?
We got them out by the thousands. We built almost 5.
We don't have them by the thousands. And the ones that are here by the thousands are from here. And again, this is like, the Bush administration pushing up Al-Qaeda like it was, blowing them up like they were bigger than they were. Because as much as they were able to accomplish, they were not, some sort of Dr. Evil Machiavellian group that was capable of striking anywhere. They weren't a superpower with us and the Russians, for Christ's sake. And MS-13, this, again, let me see if I can find, I don't know, am I just going to do all research today? Son of a bitch. This just gets dumber by the second. Aryan murders in prison percentage. Here you go. Here you go. While Trump was worrying about MS-13, this is for fucking real. What's going on here? Hold on. Go away. I don't want to reach my article limit. Stop it. All right. Well then, fine. There you go. Oh, look inside. White supremacist prison gangs. Do they have? Okay, this is just NPR. Quit it, NPR. This is okay. June. Hold on. I don't want an account of the Sacramento Bee. Hold on. Let's see. Organized crime, the Aryan Brotherhood. Let me find. There you go. California prison gangs, the price of control. Corrections Magazine, this article describes the abstract. The Nuestra Familia is one of 4 major gangs responsible for most murders and assaults throughout California's prison system. Others are the Mexican Mafia, an arch enemy of the NF, the Aryan Brotherhood, a loose confederation of white motorcycle gang members and other hoodlums. It's nice to see that used in its official capacity. Hoodlum. And the Black Guerrilla family, a black gang that wars with the Aryan Brotherhood, as you would expect, the Mexican Mafia, and occasionally the prison staff, and sometimes cooperating with the NF, which complicates things greatly. It's very Kardashian, the whole thing. The California prison gangs originated inside the prisons and have used prison base to engage in criminal activity on the outside. They have long-run traditional prison rackets and narcotics, gambling, extortion, male prostitution. In some instances, particularly at Tracy and Soledad, on and off at San Quentin, Folsom, they've tried to take the operation of the prison away from authorities for the past 10 years. Policy of the CC has been to identify gang leaders and those members responsible for violence, lock them up in designated wings. The NF members are in special units at Tracy and Soledad. The other gangs leaders are locked down in Folsom. Additional details. I have to buy the article to read it. Let's see. inside the ATF's effort to bring down an Aryan Circle Brotherhood. Yikes. Oh. I don't, you should let me read. I've never read the Houston Chronicle in my life. Houston. Feds announced massive, here you go. Let's see this. This is 2019. Massive bust of Aryan Brotherhood crime ring in California's prisons. That's what we're talking about. In a 143-page criminal complaint, they're busting people who are already in jail, by the way, just in case you don't know. This is about a criminal enterprise going on inside prison. An undercover DEA agent maps out an extensive organized crime network alleged to have orchestrated assassinations, weapon smuggling operations, and drug trafficking across multiple states. At the center, check out this dude. Yikes. 2 of the 3 alleged members of the Aryan Brotherhood's leadership, Ronald Yandel, 56, Daniel Troxel, 66. When the investigation started, both were already serving life sentences in prison for murder. Well, I mean, you're not going to let 2 guys in for traffic tickets run the Aryan Brotherhood. I mean, you got to do the heavy stuff, one would think, right? The court document, however, chronicles and details the intercepted calls, texts, and undercover agents' own recollections after infiltrating the outer circle of the biker gang. By the way, whoever that undercover agent is, hats off. Fucking hell. The Aryan Brothers members have now recruited new members, indoctrinated new associates, and rapidly asserted their dominance over the white inmate population throughout California. This spread everywhere, by the way. The Aryan Brotherhood is 2%, the official guys in it anyways, are 2% of the prison population in the United States overall. 2%. I mean, well, white people make up the majority of people in jail parallel to demographics. But the Aryan Brotherhood, the actual members of that, not the hoodlums, the actual ones, are responsible for somewhere in the order of like 50 to 60% of the murders for hire in prison. They carry it out or pay the person that carries it out or are the conduit for making it happen. You pay to kill somebody in jail, the Aryan Brotherhood has a part in it. And they're just like... And the MS-13 is scared shitless of these guys and NF and the other, the Mexican mafia that's in there. Leaders of white supremacist prison gang charged in killings from prison. But please tell me how MS-13,
miles of powerful border wall, and it was tough because
hold on. Powerful border wall?
Killers. We got them out by the thousands. We built almost 500 miles of powerful border wall, and it was tough because we had to go through 2.5 years of litigation against Democrats that were suing us, including Congress. We created...
I thought you were suing Mexico to get them to pay for it. And what the fuck does powerful wall mean? Powerful? Aren't there projected words and receptive words and static words? And isn't powerful a projective word? Right? It's a little bit like Wonderwall, which is a powerful hit song.
The most secure border in the history of the United States of America.
Yeah, thanks, COVID.
And the wall could have been finished in a month. They didn't want to finish the wall.
Yeah, it was just one more month and it would have stopped everybody from steaming across the border. But now it can't stop anybody. I guess it's the shittiest wall ever. Just, it fell over. Just who left the pin out? And
not even believable.
And it's not even believable.
And
it's not even believable. He keeps saying this.
We were building at record rates, but we had to get the approval from the courts. 2.5 years of fighting and winning.
Yeah, it's kind of a pain in the ass living in America with rules and shit.
11 different cases. Now Joe Biden has thrown the border wide open, and our country is being invaded by hundreds of thousands of people every single month. Every month, we have hundreds of thousands of people coming.
And 85% of them are immediately turned away, and they're the same people who come back next month. They're the same fuckers. He knows this. He was president. He saw this. Caravan alert. Caravan alert. It
don't
does
even
suck to
see
suck.
the people that are really coming in.
No, of course not. They're invisible. That's the worst kind of illegals are the invisible ones. They could be here right now. They could be right next to you, and you wouldn't even know it.
And I guarantee you,
Like, look over. There's just a MAGA hat floating right next to you. Oh! Hola! God damn it!
Worst of all, according to one report, over 220 miles of the area near Del Rio is now completely, totally just absorbed by people, but totally
Fuck, man. Find the word. It's in the teleprompter. They scrolled past it. What word is he hunting for? We need to have a contest for what word was he thinking he was going to say?
Rio is now completely, totally just absorbed by people, but totally unpatrolled. The police.
That's what it was. Unpatrolled. How do you get absorbed from unpatrolled? Yeah, he means uncontrolled. Absolutely.
Completely, totally just absorbed.
Bro, totally, oh my God. Like, totally, like, I thought the border was, like, so, like, whatever. And it's like, whatever. I'm like, totally, the border is so totally. It's so totally.
By people, but totally
It's absorbed by people. That's the problem with immigrants, is not only are they violent, vicious, and monstrous, but they're also very absorbent. They clean up most spills, and many of them fit in overhead storage bins.
Patrolled. The police are saying, what do we do? This is an invasion.
Just find your way to it. Yell something. Some word must come out. This is an invasion. Well, if you're, oh my God, this is so true. Like, oh my God, the border is like totally like, it's so like, she, I saw the border, she was like at the dance and she's like so self-absorbed. You know what I mean? Like some people, it's just like, whatever, and I'm like totally like losing control. Just, oh my God. It's like a biatch invasion. I don't even know. He did build the wall and it didn't do shit. Walls don't work. Why does your wall suck? Why does your wall not work? Why did it never work? All right, we need an interviewer. Anybody watching who interviews him next, you got to ask him, once they dump them out of the prisons in Guatemala and Honduras and Mexico and Yemen, and they boat over here, how do they stop them from just settling down and being awful, along the way? You know what I mean? How do they keep them focused? Because that's motivation is important. Do they give them a bunch of Tony Robbins tapes? How do they keep them focused on getting to the U.S. border, not just going, I could settle down and open my own little, murder camp right here. This is a lovely spot for a murder camp. Don't you think? I could have a little bistro over there where I could serve, little pieces of fish and dollops of green jelly on the side and murder. And then I could have like a little walk-up bar on the sand where you could get margaritas with extra salt and murder. And then, one of those indoor ski slopes in the mall where you could ski down it and then you jump and then someone murders you. I can't. Like, get to America! Get to America! Get to America! I don't want, it's great. This is an excellent place to murder. And look, who's the murderer here, okay? Who knows murder? I think I know a little bit more about murder than you do, sir. Excuse me, Mr. Let People Die from a Distance.
He could finish that wall in 1 month. And
Yeah, that's all. It's just a couple more feet, and then it'll all work in the areas where it already exists.
Contractors are all suing now. They're going to make more money. They have contracts to build the wall, finish the wall. They said terminate. Let's terminate. First day, we're going to terminate. And now the contracts are going to get more money for not building than they ever got for building. You got some contractors over here. They're laughing because they know exactly what I'm saying, don't you? Biden terminated our asylum agreements, instituted nationwide catch and release, crippled ICE. These are great patriots, ICE. Tough. I wouldn't want that job.
But apparently they're not patrolling areas anymore because they can't do anything. It's an invasion. They can't do anything. I mean, they're not, they can't do anything. They're not allowed to do anything. I have one hair that's just kind of, it happens when you got to do this magnificent.
With the beautiful jacket on. Come here. Let me look at him. Look at that beautiful. Stand up in the chair. Stand up in that chair. Help him.
Filler, help him. Oh, God, please be able to stand. Please be a person capable of standing.
Look at this guy. Right? It's a kid. He's been. How many rallies have you been to?
Yeah, it's a lot of return business. By the way, he thinks this is great, but this waters down his idea that I have great crowds in every state. You have great crowds in every state because you have deadheaders. These assholes deadhead all over the country. Their retirees are lunatics. It's like 5% of these things are locals. And the rest of them just, the next one's coming. And they hop into their friggin' RV and tool down there. It's like a racist version of Nomadland.
Oh boy, he's a great guy and a great patriot. And when he takes that back off, he goes into a shirt and he probably goes back to his accounting office. But we love you. You're great, and we appreciate
you. What? You mean he doesn't wear his Trump merch everywhere? What a poser.
Really great. We appreciate it. Great guy. Great guy.
Was it the brick suit guy? I thought he's back with the RSBN folks.
But even sleepy-eyed Chuck Todd of NBC News was recently forced to admit that Biden's open borders and his policies are acting as a magnet, attracting illegal aliens from all over the planet.
See, that's weird, because the Biden administration has not said that the border's open. You have. Ted Cruz is, every time he's on television, especially in the Texas area, local news throughout there, the border's open. The border's open. Joe Biden has opened this border, and he needs to do something about it. It's wide open. Anybody can just walk on through. They're not even stopping people. Yes, they are. Shut up. The border is wide open. No, it isn't. It's closed. We have a whole process. Shut up. Quiet.
Yet despite this obvious disaster, radical Democrats in the House and Senate continue to push for mass amnesty. It's really hard to believe they think this is good. When you look at what's happening, as you know, Haiti is emptying out into our country.
Is it? Haiti is emptying out. Great. Somebody took Haiti up here and dumped it into the country. 11 million people in Haiti. And 12,000 people ended up coming here. How do you think Chile has absorbed, dipshit? Fuck.
They have a lot of problems in Haiti, and it's very sad.
Oh, yeah? Yeah? What kind of problems? Tell us your deep understanding of the difficulties in Haiti currently.
We're bringing people into our country that it's just a terrible, terrible, terrible situation. We're living through...
What the fuck was that? We're bringing people into our country that's just a terrible, terrible... 12K is the total... population of Haiti. That's right. They shook Haiti, and there's only really 12,000 people in the whole country.
The worst border crisis in the history, probably, of civilization. There's no border.
Yeah, not so much. I mean, beyond, hold on. Let's see. Currently, let's see. Afghans in Iran fleeing. Let's see. Like this, this is happening and has been happening. 1101 in the chat. Thanks, guys. Thanks for joining. It's great to have you here. At 1100, that means we have at least some extra folks who could subscribe. I mean, come on. Subscribe on the YouTube channel, infotainmentwars.com. Just go there and subscribe. Even if you watch on other sources, be nice. That would help. We're almost there. We're so close. We're so close. And then, of course, subscribe to Twitch with Amazon Prime. Anyways, there are the Greek. Let's see. Hold on. Greek border crisis. Let's see. We can find a better article. Schools doing fast facts. There you go. Let's say. This looks pretty severe.
Yunaniston gitmek istiyoruz ama yol bunlar bırakmıyorlar. Zaten biz kaçakta geçiyoruz buradan. Geri atıyorlar. Telefon, çanta ne var, para var, her şey var alıyorlar. Geri atıyor Türkiye.
So, and that's from March 3rd, 2020, but that's like all the time.
Nobody has a border like this.
Lots of places have borders like that. I mean, most of the African borders are ridiculous half the time. Like it's insane. Like the Iranian border with Afghanistan is overwhelmed with hundreds of thousands of Afghans fleeing into there right now.
Do anything. Other countries, even if they're not well equipped, they put up a fight. They don't let people.
Yeah, they're not well equipped. They're poor countries, so they just kill people. Why can't we just do that? Just because we have the means and wherewithal to treat people humanely, why the hell would we want to? Why don't we just knock the crap out of these strangers fleeing violence who are seeking a better life? That's why we need to put boxing gloves on the Statue of Liberty. I've said it for a long time. I think she would look great with a mouth guard as well.
And we're just letting them just walk right in, and your own senator, Raphael Warnock, has not uttered a single solitary word of criticism because he's a Marxist controlled by the radical left Democrats who don't believe in borders and they don't believe in a nation and they don't believe in our nation. I don't believe they believe in our nation.
I see. It was they don't believe in our nation is written in the actual, yes, of course, satire. Thank you. They don't believe in our nation was in there, but he just read it as a nation.
By the radical left Democrats who don't believe in borders and they don't believe in a nation and they don't believe in our nation. I don't believe they believe in
any nation. I mean, I don't believe they, except, of course, dissemination. Of course, they believe in that.
Next year, Warnock.
Yes, Warnock is a Sparksist insofar as I know. Yeah.
Single one of these far left lunatics must be routinely and resoundingly.
Yes. Routinely and resoundingly. Yeah, even after we've kicked them out of office, we should run an election against them and have them driven from office that they're no longer in routinely.
And decisively defeated. They have to be defeated.
Yeah, a routine defeat. After a while, they'll get used to it.
Not going to have a country left.
And by the way, we're not going to have a country left is something that you can hear from like hundreds of thousands of old Southern folks that hang out in Florida and in Floribama especially, and in Louisiana and Georgia, and they all talk like that. We're not even going to have a country left after this. And this is not a sentence that's new. This is like an old refrain.
You want to have a country left, you must elect no Democrats and vote only for America First Republican.
America First Republican. There's only a few of them. There's a single America First one.
America.
Yes, as America First. Like, he's catching himself having to repeat words, and now he's embarrassed by it. This is not good.
Only for America First Republicans.
America First.
You know, we have a couple of
COVID brain is real.
We have Save America, which is great. We have a lot of different Make America Great Again. We'll never give that one up, right? Make America Great Again. I thought we could sort of put it aside for a while, right?
He hated it. Like, everybody was like, yeah, Make America Great Again. Somebody else thought that up. I forget who right now. Whatever. But it's been around for a while. He doesn't like it. This branding genius who knows more about ISIS than the generals and more about economics than the economists, that knows more about governing than the governors. He hated MAGA when they were using it. He was like, it's stupid. Reagan, yes, Reagan used that phrase first, right? America second, right? Right. And you could tell he still doesn't want it because he knows somebody else is, like, people are becoming, aware that he didn't invent it, and that's bugging him. So, and America First, he thinks people won't realize that was actually used by a Nazi sympathizing party in the United States in the 40s.
As soon as they came in, we said we need that one again, but we have some good ones. But when you think about it, some of those phrases they're so perfect. Some of the phrases, think about Make America Great Again, Save America, America First. Think of it.
Yeah, I use America in each one of them. And so there's always an A present. Think about it. Make America great again. Save America. America First. Amerigo Vespucci. It was an accident that the area was named after someone that, uh-oh.
America First.
Yes, the teleprompter broke, so he's having to vamp.
And I'll never forget when Biden first came into office, if you can believe this, he said...
I believe this. Yes, I do believe it, actually. I know for a fact he came into office, actually. He's the 46th president. I don't know if you can read, but that's a current... Fits nicely. It's good.
We don't believe in America First policies. I said, even if you really...
No, they don't believe in the America First phrase. Roots of... Now, this is a different... America First. Yeah, there you go. A short history of America First. The phrase used by President Trump has been linked to anti-Semitism during World War II. President Trump's speech Friday will go down as one of the shorter inaugural addresses, but also remembered for its populist and often dark tone. From this day forward, it's going to be only America First, America First. Trump appears to have first used the phrase last March in an interview. I'm not isolationist, but I am America First, so I like the expression America First. He just heard it. Somebody told him that. It was probably Stephen Miller. Trump insisted publicly he wrote it in his own speech, going as far to tweet a picture of himself holding a pen and a piece of paper in his hotel. Trump's speech, which is at least written by Steve Bannon and Steve Miller, two of Trump's senior advisors, blah, blah, blah. We know this. Let's see. The phrase itself might provide comfort to those Trump supporters who have long railed against what they see as lawmakers in Washington catering to special interests, yada, yada. The America First Committee, AFC, was founded in 1940, opposed to any involvement, U.S. involvement in World War II. Now, standing alone, not so much, not that big a deal. You know what I mean? Like, you could have just gone, oh, anti-war in that regard or something. I don't know. America First sounds fine. But when you have a bunch of people on airplanes with shirts and hats that say 6MWE after January 6th riding back from being at the Capitol, which means 6 million wasn't enough, you tie it together, this starts to paint a picture that gets clearer and clearer. Right. And was harshly critical of Roosevelt's administration, which it accused of pressing the U.S. towards war. At its peak, it had 800,000 members across the country, including socialists, conservatives, and some of the most prominent Americans from some of the most prominent families. There was future President Ford, Sergeant Shriver, who'd go on to lead the Peace Corps, Potter Stewart, the future U.S. Supreme Court Justice. It was funded by the families who owned Sears Roebuck and the Chicago Tribune, but also counted among its ranks prominent anti-Semites of the day. It had to remove from its executive committee not only the notoriously anti-Semitic Henry Ford, but also Avery Brundage. Jeez. He didn't get into a teleporter with a fly at any point, did he? I'm just curious. Former chairman of the U.S. Olympic Committee, who had prevented two Jewish runners from the American track team in Berlin in 1936 from running in the finals of the 4x100. Susan Dunn, the historian, wrote in CNN. But charges of anti-Semitism persisted and were compounded with perhaps one of the most infamous speeches given by the AFC's most famous spokesman, Charles Lindbergh, in a speech in Des Moines, Iowa on September 11th. Curious that day keeps showing up. Lindbergh expressed sympathy for the persecution of Jews faced in Germany, but suggested Jews were advocating the U.S. to enter a war that was not in our national interest. It wasn't just Jews, by the way, that were advocating we get in there and stop Hitler from killing people, and he wasn't just killing Jews also. But I mean, you can't split hairs. This is an invasion, Mr. President. They'll see the big board. So yeah, that's where America First comes from.
You can't say that. It doesn't work. He doesn't believe, but it's true. They don't believe in America First. They don't believe in America First policies. The world is eating our lunch. They're laughing at us. They watch what happened in Afghanistan, and they think we're weak and stupid. And I'll tell you...
No, actually. China and Russia have been counting on us to stabilize, namely Pakistan and Afghanistan, by being there. And now that it's on their plate, they have to deal with the spread that will come from there. And we are not first on the list of the groups that people want to attack over there at any given time. Especially with what China's doing with the Uyghurs and the people from Chechnya and their relationship with Russia and the violence towards them. There's a lot of Muslims that have kind of a chip on their shoulder towards China and Russia, and we've been kind of holding them at bay. Oh, hey, Gonzo, thank you so much.
I was president, they respected us. They respected this country. Because they were ripping us off, and we stopped it. We stopped it, and we'll go into it, too. For the last 8 months, Biden, Pelosi, and the Socialist Democrats have been relentlessly pushing the
Well, they're about to give birth to one of the greatest bills in the history of the country. I mean, since the New Deal in a lot of ways.
Lie that their political opponents are the number one threat. Think of it, the number one threat to national security.
No, that's white supremacist domestic violence is the number one racially specific domestic violence threat. We've gone through this with everybody else who called this bullshit, but it's no surprise that trickled-down dum-dum has finally landed in his brain pan and is seeping out of his face.
They call them the Trump people. You know what that is? That's 75 million people, but it's really much more than that. Much, much more than that.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you count all the Russian hackers and technically the Chinese support that you have, and of course the Saudis. Let's not forget the Saudis.
And that's the largest vote by far ever gotten by a sitting president. No president has ever come close to it.
Well, of course, we have a bigger population than we've ever had, and of course, you're the person you were up against actually kicked your ass soundly.
And most presidents go down in the second term. Even if they win, they go down. Obama went down, way down. But he won. Well, I don't know. Maybe he won. Who the hell knows if he won?
Yeah, he won. I mean, this ass. Are we getting into a zone? I haven't watched this. Are we getting into a zone where this dickhead is going to go into whether Obama's a citizen again?
With these elections, who knows if he won? But he went down a lot, and he won. Most of them go down. Some of them go up. But if they go up, they don't go up much. We went up by 12 million votes. I was told, sir.
Oh, it's a Sir story, so it must be true. Also, one of the reasons why the votes went up so much is because more people were engaged in voting because they were more connected to it, and they didn't have anything else to do. They were at home, and they could vote by mail, and voting by mail was made easier than it had ever been, so more Americans voted. And so if he claims that more people voted for him than any other president, he has to recognize that mail-in voting worked and engaged more of the electorate than ever. Please proceed with your bullshit Sir story.
Also, so we got 63 million. He said, sir, if you go up 1 million votes, you can't lose. Well,
Yeah, I would ask for my money back.
Up 12 million votes, and they say we lost.
You not just they. I say you lost. I would go further than that. I would say you're a loser. You're actually a loser. Beyond even the fact that you lost. Some people lose, can still be winners. Because they lose with grace, they learn from it, they adapt, and they come back stronger the next time. And they maybe realize, I didn't have as much that I could contribute, and now I've got something more that I can give to the team or to the circumstance of the election or whatever it is that you're trying to win in that circumstance. But in this case, you were always a loser. You Peter principled your way into the presidency on the backs of the Republican Party, which are, a bunch of cowardly lumps who didn't have the guts to take on somebody because they got their fifis hurt by naughty names, and a bunch of like slackers on the left who went, take a pass. Hillary's a bad person, but her emails crowd, and you lucked into it. And you're the only Trump is the only person in history that could rise to the office of president of the United States and still be a miserable fuck up the entire time. It's incredible. Like, can you imagine getting all the way there and having such a miserable time and having to basically spend months on the road begging for your old job back?
But there never has been.
Don't say has been. It makes it takes a month off your life. It's not healthy for someone in your position. By the way, is this his, will you stare at me in my Jesus Christ pose? I'm so alive. Right.
Been a concession. You do know that, right?
There's never been a concession. Yeah. Here we get to the delicate ego part of the evening. This is where a grown man has the ego and self-confidence of a toddler with a full diaper. Let's sit back and watch the fun. And by the way, yes, Hillary did win the popular vote. That's right. And he'll never mention that. And Trump won the Electoral College largely because of the thumbsuckers. 74,000 votes in 3 states. Yeah, so what? All this means is your complaints that Hillary, even though she officially conceded, has griped about it afterwards, means nothing. Thank you, Gonzo. Number for number, Trump finished as the worst president in 4 generations, possibly ever. Yes.
When Stacey...
Well, by the way, if we're just going on the metric that Trump has set up, which is that while he was president, China attacked us with a bioweapon. This is his current belief, that the Chinese government manufactured a disease, sent it here on purpose to kill American citizens and possibly wipe out other people across the globe for other geopolitical reasons, but mainly to attack to attack America first. And it killed 600 1,000 plus people during his watch, and obviously he was lowering the numbers while he was there, so we'll get a full accounting someday. That Trump wants you to believe that, and which means he was president during the worst bioweapon attack in the history of the United States, and his response to the attacking party was to sell them the largest order of beef, corn, and soybeans in history.
Abrams says, I'm not going to concede. It's okay. No. When Stacey Abrams says, I'm not going to concede, that's okay. No problem. Oh, she's not going to concede. She's not going to concede.
Well, in the case of Stacey Abrams, Brian Kemp, who's currently the governor, was the Secretary of State and was running the election in that state. And there was a lot of shenanigans going on in the state, and a lot of people had problems with it, but he wouldn't give up his role as Secretary of State, even though it gave him overt control over the election that he himself was going to benefit from. Now, for this to be a proper analogy, for there to be balance in this, in your one-to-one, person-to-person telling, Joe Biden would have had to be the president last time, and would have had to pass a voting rights bill that gave him statewide, control over the state's elections. That's it. That's because you were in charge. You were in the Kemp role in this situation. Biden would be the Stacey Abrams in this situation. But in this analogy, Stacey Abrams would have won, even though Brian Kemp fucked with the election by millions of votes. See how the analogy falls apart? Dum-dum.
Of course, having her, I think, might be better than having your existing governor, if you want to. Might very well be better. But when she says...
Well, all right. So, broken clock theory.
No problem. When crooked Hillary Clinton says, don't ever concede, but she conceded. Of course, I got her at 3 o'clock in the morning. There was something going on there.
What? You were on drugs and wide awake?
But she conceded. She probably regrets it, but I never conceded because I saw what was happening, and I can't do it. I can't do it.
Right, you're weak. That's a sign of weakness. You're a weak man. You're weak. That's going to happen.
I have a commitment to you, and I can't do it.
I can't do it. I love the friggin' trail off on all these things. I did the thing, and then
And honestly, it would have been a lot easier for me if I did like every politician. I'd like to congratulate Sleepy Joe on running a brilliant race from the basement. Somebody ran a good race. We don't know who the hell it was.
Well, it wasn't you. Dude, you do realize the more you paint Biden as like feeble and stuck in a basement and unresponsive and weak and all this kind of thing, it makes your loss even more pathetic. So let me get this straight. In the final year of the Trump presidency, where he was the greatest ever and has the best people and the best words and knows more about everything than the people who know about the thing, whatever the thing may be, he allowed, according to him, the worst bioweapon attack in the history of America that killed over 500,000 people on his watch. He responded by signing a trade deal with the people who did it and selling them beef, corn, and soybeans. And all the while getting his ass kicked by a geriatric, demented dunderhead in a basement who could only have 7 people at a rally. Do you understand how this doesn't paint exactly the best picture? See what I mean? It would be better. Yeah, and Biden never got COVID. That would be another, excellent point.
It was somebody ran a good race, but the fact is that...
it wasn't you.
We ran a great race. A major media group came and they interviewed me 2 weeks ago.
Major media group. Major. Sinclair Media, by the way. We saw it. Yeah, it was an hour-and-a-half interview, 2 hours, I think. And they cut it down to 15 minutes. And even then, they had to edit sentences together in your answers to make them coherent. I know. I covered it on my show.
They go, sir, what was the...
Why does everyone say a mocking sir? I thought you liked these people. I had these amazing people. The Nobel Prize committee came to me and they went, sir, will you please help us? Right.
difference between 2016 and 2020? They meant that like as a negative question. I said, well, let me tell you.
No, they didn't. They wanted to see if you understood the difference between the campaign you ran in 2016 and the campaign you ran in 2020. It is, by the way, a question they would ask of any one-termer.
Difference. We did much better in 2020 than we did in 2016.
Just not good enough. Yes, you did much better. You tripled your loss in the popular vote. Well played.
We did much better. The rallies were bigger. There were more enthusiastic. We did much, much better. We got 12 million more votes. I mean, we went from 63 to 75 million. So
yeah, because of mail-in voting. It helps. It even helps Republicans. Now, why wouldn't they want it if they could gain so many votes? Because they recognize that there's less of them. And so it's easier to have minority control over an electorate when you don't let everyone vote evenly.
And the person said, you know, I never thought of that. He wasn't that bad. He was radical left, but he wasn't that bad. But he did say... You haven't given an interview to anybody from the radical left. The fuck are you talking about? Followed your campaign. It was the most incredible campaign I've ever witnessed. Where...
Yes, a radical left journalist, interviewed him and said, sir, what was the difference between 2016 and 2020? Because you ran the greatest campaign probably ever. And are you sure? Are you sure you hadn't just snorted a rail of something and you were kind of falling backwards and you hit your head on the credenza? Jesus.
Where you would get up and do 3, 4, and 5 of these rallies a day, and you did that for 30 days before the election. He said, I've never seen anything like that.
I've never seen desperation like that in my life from an incumbent. The fact that you had to do that painted such a terrible picture. We called it the apology tour.
There has never been anything like that in the history of politics in this country, and probably in the history of politics in the world. There's never been a movement like this. I said, are you going to write that? He said, probably not. He said, probably not. And the reason...
Who is this? I mean, this is... Look, if you're going to make up weird little interviewer stories, can you make them at least remotely plausible?
Not as his bosses probably would let him write that, but
yeah.
There has never been a movement like a MAGA movement like this. There's never been anything. Never been anything.
Well, sure there have been. I mean, like a lot of coordinated outfits in history. I mean, not that I'm making a direct parallel. I'm not saying that there's a direct parallel between these, like big gatherings, big rallies, in places like Madison Square Garden. I'm not saying the turnout was solid. The uniforms were consistent. Never, and hopefully, by the way, there's never been a movement like this before. Well, here's hoping there never is again.
But they said, what's the
Yeah,
difference?
by the way, that's a picture from Madison Square Garden. Nazis in Madison Square Garden. Yeah, horrifying.
Said we did better in 2020. Joe Biden is not merely a threat to our national security. He's actively demolishing it before our very eyes.
Okay,
Biden-
hey, wait, this is it. Let's get into some details. This is a detail. He's at the teleprompter. This is going to be a detail. So Biden is actively, hold on. I'm just pulling up an article just in case.
Triggered millions of illegal aliens to rush our borders in the middle of a
This is the Georgia rally, guys.
pandemic, in the middle of the pandemic. Where's your mask? Where's your mask? Where's your mask? Where's that mandate? Why aren't they imposing a mandate? I mean, they impose a mandate on everybody, but not the people coming in.
Impose. Impose.
Imposing a mandate. I mean, they impose a mandate on everybody.
They impose it. You want to use the impose. I don't know where they oppose a mandate on everyone. You oppose a mandate. No, you oppose a mandate. No, you do.
Not the people coming in. In Afghanistan, he humiliated our nation with the most appalling display of incompetence by an American president.
If you don't count all of the presidents that kept us in there for a decade past, 15 years past our actual mission.
In history, 13 great young warriors were murdered and many injured, and a total of 170 people were killed, with many very, very badly wounded. In their memory tonight, we have 13 empty seats of honor.
Oh, my God, you fucking punk. Shame on you. 13 empty seats. Oh, for Jesus and the Apostles? Another group of men you ignore?
We're in the front row. Our hearts go out to the families of every service member that we have lost, and I've spoken to a lot of them, and these are great, great people.
If you don't mind. A lot of them. A lot of them. At least the good thing though is that at least he's above a crass political stunt.
Thank you.
I'm pointing at empty chairs. Look at me. Yeah, let me give myself a round of applause for putting empty chairs up and benefiting from empty chairs.
And we're also honored to be joined by one of the Marines who bravely served in Kabul during the withdrawal and helped evacuate children over the airport and over the airport wall. You saw him. He did a great job, Lance Corporal Hunter Ian Clark. Lance Corporal.
Oh, Hunter. Does he have a laptop too?
Here. Come.
By the way, I don't care what this kid's politics are, honestly. For real. I don't care if I disagree with what he says or whether he supports the president or not. In honor of the fact that he served, I'm not going to speak over what he has to say. So if anybody wants to see it, it's in the speech, or they could have watched it in the speech. But thank you for your service. I don't care if we would disagree about him. That doesn't matter. It's enough.
Very much. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Thank you. Hey, Perry, Georgia did a good job. They did a good job. You grow them well in Perry, Georgia. Biden surrendered our forts and air base.
Our forts. Oh, fuck. We lost forts again. Great. Do we lose all the pillows and blankets?
Bagram, you know, we were going to keep the air base because it's right next to China.
Is it just right next to China? Is it?
And their military institutions and their
institutions and installations. There's a lot of insulation, military insulation. It's a special kind. It's bulletproof insulation. It's pink, but it stops bullets. He's melting on the screen.
China. And their military institutions and their installations, and they have a lot of things surrounding it. And we had this big, beautiful air base.
Yeah, well, they have a lot of things surrounding it, like sand and ISIS, and 122-degree heat, all things that kill soldiers.
Billions of dollars to build, and we were gone. We didn't even turn out the lights. And one day,
no, they did turn out the lights, dummy. There's a specific story about them turning out the lights and they just left. We don't have to look it up.
We were gone. And you know who's looking at it now and who's all over it? China! We were never leaving that. We had a perfect plan and they were listening.
Yeah, they had a perfect plan. It was a perfect plan, guys. It was perfect. Okay? I can't show it to you. It's right here. I got it. I'm looking at it right now. And it is so good. It's perfect. It's right here. And we would have used it if I was in there, but I can't even tell you. National security, I can't tell you what I would have done. But I would have done whatever they didn't do is part of what I would have done because it would have worked way better.
To us, Abdul, you can't shoot our soldiers. You know what? For 18 months, we didn't have one soldier killed. They listened to me. I said, you can't do it, Abdul. We'll hit you harder than you've ever been hit. You can't do it.
And again, they're taking over the country. What does hitting them harder than you've ever been hit mean? We're going to strafe bomb the city full of people who are fearing the Taliban? What are you going to do? Shoot lines of people trying to get out of the country? This is so fucking stupid.
And he understood that, and he left us alone, and we would have never moved our military.
Because we were going to leave, because the agreement was May 1st.
Out first. We would have never, they would have gone last. First Americans, then our people.
Let the government collapse and make it obvious to the military that we're leaving, and then as our soldiers are extracting, then they'll be under fire. That's a great idea.
Come out, of which, by the way, the people that came.
What was the vote? Sorry? Somebody's saying there was a vote on something. No, somebody put that in there. Hold on. Look at that. 612 likes. You rock. Don't forget to give a thumbs up, like, and subscribe. All the stuff I'm supposed to say that I keep forgetting to say because we're having so much fun. Hi.
They were talking about. That was just like a mad rush. But Abdul understood that he was not going to do anything to us, and we would have taken our soldiers out last. We would have bombed our 5 bases, and we were going to occupy Bagram.
The bases were going to be used by the Afghans.
For a long time to come, and it would have been so good.
Wait, we would have bombed them for a long time to come? What?
Occupy Bagram for a long time to come.
Oh, we would have occupied Bagram for a long time to come. So we were never going to leave. There was no version of reality. Again, how many times do I have to say this? Trump was never going to leave Afghanistan. May 1st was bullshit. He was always punting. Everybody was always punting. The difference between like Obama kind of getting rolled by the generals that Biden talks about and staying in longer than he wanted to is because he genuinely believed them. Trump knew he was being bullshitted according to him, and yet he was going to stay anyways.
And it would have been so good.
It was so good, you know. I mean, not for the soldiers that had to live there and the people who were in danger every single day that we would have had that base there and stuff, but
right, they just took the military out first. That's like the captain of the ship. Much more severe, by the way. If a captain of a ship goes, you say, all right, he didn't have guts, but it's not going to affect it too much.
Jesus Christ. You know, it's like this. This is like, you know, when it's like a thing where it's not like the thing at all, but it would be, if it was like the thing, I like saying the thing, so it's like the thing. Shit, listen to this.
The ship, much.
Hold on. It's like the captain of the ship, only it's much, much worse.
Bagram for a long time to come. And it would have been so good. But this guy, they just took the military out first. That's like the captain of the ship. Much more severe, by the way. If a captain of a ship goes, you say, all right,
Sure.
he didn't have guts.
Right.
But it's not going to affect it too much. They took the military out first. And that's why you have those 13 empty seats right there. That's why.
No, you have 13 empty seats right there because you're a crass fuck and you decided to make political hay out of the deaths of service members. But on top of that, the reason those people had to be there and why their lives were in danger is because the Biden administration had to evacuate all the personnel in the military that were there, that were meant to be there, and all the SIV people that could have been removed over the last year at the same time. So they were doing twice the job they had to do under a shortened time frame. And that's because of you. You put them in that situation. The limited amount of resources, what was available to them, like if you'd gotten out the special immigrant visa people on schedules from the day you set the date, May 1st, if you started evacuating people regularly in groups, and by the time the May 1st date came around, it would have just been military and embassy staff, and all the people the families and the people that had helped us had already gotten out of the country, we wouldn't have had to do dual tracks and get people there, and they wouldn't have been overlapping and rushing down there, and there wouldn't have been this confusion because people's SIV paperwork hadn't been thrown out several times illegally over the last couple of years. So the Biden administration is dealing with this backlog, this timetable that you set up, the rules you agreed to with the Taliban to not kill anybody until this date. They punted it as far as they could to August. This was as far as they would go, and they're getting people out as fast as they could. Those soldiers are dead because you wouldn't do your job when it was your job. And by the way, if this plan was perfect, it would have worked last year. And it would have worked in 2019. And it would have worked in 2018. Nothing changed in Afghanistan in the last 3 years. Nothing changed in Afghanistan legitimately in the entirety of the Trump presidency. Nothing. If Trump had a perfect plan, and it was really a perfect plan that would have been so beautiful and it would have worked great, then he should have done it. He could have done it at any point because it was that good a plan. Except there's two minor problems. One, he never intended to leave Afghanistan. It was always bullshit. And two, there is no plan.
Because they took the military out first and they created a void. And the Taliban said, what's going on? I can just see Abdul.
You told them we were leaving on May 1st. It took us longer to leave. That day would have come 4 months ago. Is he just going to pretend the May 1st deadline doesn't exist at all? I mean, we were going to take our embassy staff out, apparently. We were going to evacuate everybody because he knew Ghani was going to collapse. I mean, we've heard this bullshit.
Call or a message that said, the military has left. He said, you're nuts, in their language. There's no way. Sir, the military has left.
How many sir stories are we getting tonight? So now they're calling Baradar sir.
They've abandoned, they've surrendered, they've quit, whatever the hell he said.
We left. We didn't surrender. We didn't quit. Our soldiers didn't fail. Our mission was over. We were nation building and we didn't need to. We held them up as long as we could, but it had to be on them, and we left. We left. Leaving was an act of dignity. Staying, every day we stayed, past the point where it was necessary, was a failure, was a surrender to circumstance.
And I guarantee he said there's no way that happened. Nobody could be that stupid.
Well, you're the one who busted him out of jail, so you know him better than the rest of us, I'm sure. I mean, maybe Kim Jong-un's been talking to him more regularly, but
smart, they're good fighters. The Taliban.
Oh, is this going to go? They're genetically good fighters because that's what they've been doing for thousands of years, and then this the soft racism of a backhanded compliment.
Generally are very good fighters, very good, among the best actually. And they said no, he did, and they sent a group in, And they said, you know what? The military is not there anymore. That's why we had to bring people in that weren't even familiar with all of it. They brought those 13 great people, and many that are wounded, very seriously wounded. They brought them in, among others.
Yes, to evacuate the people that you should have been evacuating for fucking years. Stephen Miller and Donald Trump personally hamstrung the SIV program. Personally made it difficult so that Afghans who helped us and their families could not get out of the country, could not get special immigrant visas, held them back, ran their paperwork, threw it in the garbage, like stopped it at every turn. Created an intentional backlog so that by the time we got this deadline where if we don't get out by this date, the Taliban are going to start killing people again, it's too late. We can't bring them. We just got to get our people out. But because Biden refused to, and the United States fought really hard to live up to our responsibilities to those people as best we could, with the limited circumstance we were in, and the variable alternatives. Some were taken out over ground, some of them were flown out, some of them left from other parts of the country. These people, we had to put 6,000 more troops in for the evacuation. We shouldn't have had to do that. We had to do that because Donald Trump is a fucking poser.
This Milley is an idiot. I got to know him. He's an idiot. Okay. They moved the military out first. Let's get the military out. And then after that, we'll negotiate for hostages, okay? And let's leave them $85 billion in America's finest weapons and latest equipment.
Again, you couldn't have brought that stuff out last year. $85 billion. We've done this before. They threw thermite grenades in most of the gear that they knew the Afghan military wasn't going to use. They removed all our good stuff. They demilitarized all the vehicles. They took the firing pins out of the rifles and all kinds of shit. Like, there were dudes working their asses off to make sure that this stuff didn't fall into their hands.
And he abandoned hundreds of American citizens in enemy-occupied territory, and the press is trying to play the whole situation down like it never took place because they are among the most corrupt people in this country.
So, how so? How so? Explain to everyone there. I'm sure they would love to know how Milley's strategically, under you following orders, under Biden following orders, acted differently in a way under Biden, under the orders he was given, than he did under you, under the orders that he was given, and resulted in a situation where no plan became an imperfect plan, but a plan nonetheless that actually was put into place. It's put into motion. Oy.
You don't even see it anymore about Afghanistan. They don't talk about it.
Yeah, we're out, asshole.
They don't talk about it, but I will.
Yeah, they don't talk about 64 soldiers that died in Afghanistan on your watch, or the 127 U.S. service people who died while you were president. You don't talk about them anymore. You talk about the 13 that died during the evacuation. As if the ones that died while you were there didn't fucking count. They only count when they're politically worthwhile.
The Democrats are after me with prosecutors and everything else they can think of. Like, they want to make sure that I just be quiet. But you know what? They want to silence me just like...
Oh, no. No. Oh, no. Oh, dear. Oh, no. Don't, please. No. Don't get the impression that we want you to be quiet there. No. We want you to talk. Most of us would like you to do it under oath and on camera, as a matter of fact. Oh, talk away. Blathering is one thing, but we would love you to keep talking. Oh, yes. Please go ahead. Deposed is how most of us would like to see you speaking. And we will. By the way, we're with you, E. Jean Carroll. We love you, and we salute your strength and your determination and your fortitude and your character and your ability to soldier through all this bullshit all these years. In the meantime, Oh boy, I can't wait to see your deposition in that case. And man, oh Shevitz, we're going to enjoy watching you and Eric and Don Jr. on your under oath video deposition that becomes part of the public record. Oh, it's just going to, I mean, honestly, Kids in the Hall character voice. Almost. I definitely went Canadian on that. Oh, no, 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 no.
Silence so many others. It's one of the reasons we don't.
It was straight up Canadian. Yeah.
The support we should from a lot of very good Republicans, but they're not as brave as they have to be.
Well, yeah, I mean, Republicans suck. I mean, somebody should have told you this a while back. You know, we could have warned you. Not only are they themselves unethical, often corrupt and criminal, grotesquely overburdened with egomaniacal views of their own self-worth, all the while running to for positions of power that they believe shouldn't exist according to them, but they don't run and win and then step down and go, my first act as governor is to eliminate the office of governor. Shit like that. And none of them seem to have the guts to do that. They just roll in there and start padding their bank accounts. At least we're lucky that they're stupid.
They're in agreement with us, but they're afraid. The people we're dealing with are evil and angry and destroying our country. They're just,
dude. Again, we're in the projection. Is this the projection block?
Destroying our country, and they want to go after me because they think a big mouth.
I have a big mouth because I've got a Lord have
country. And they want to go after me because they think a big mouth.
Oh, my Lord. I've been talking to Lindsey Graham, and it's affected my speaking. They think I have a big voice. They got a big mouth. My Lord.
And they want to go after me because they think a big mouth.
They think a big mouth.
Don't have a big mouth. You know what I have? I have a mouth that tells the truth. I have a mouth that wants to save our country.
Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country. 7 years ago, our forefathers brought forth on this great country. I have dreamed. I have a mouth that wants to save our country.
The truth. I have a mouth that wants to save our country.
Donald Trump, I have a mouth that wants to save our country. Make America suck again, I guess. Jesus Christ. I have a mouth that wants to save America. I'm going to choke on my peanut bar. Oh my God. Please tell me that was in the teleprompter. That was your addition to the speech. I have a mouth that wants to save America.
The truth. I have a mouth that wants to save our country.
It's so stupid. It's just, I mean, it's overwhelmingly dumb. It's so weird. It's such a, and to be so proud of yourself to say something so inane. Oh, God. Yes, give it up for the big mouth. Give it up for his mouth. Yes, there's no mention of a brain or a heart. Woo for the mouth. People are cheering Trump's mouth.
Now Biden is bringing into the United States tens of thousands of unvetted, unscreened Afghan nationals who never worked with the Americans before, including those with child brides. They have a child bride, 13, 14 years old. And we're going to resettle them, I guess, with the child bride. Are they doing that with the child bride?
No, they sent those guys back.
A lot of those people that rushed the planes are not the people that worked with us. They're people that wanted to get out.
Yeah, the people who rushed the plane didn't come to the United States. They flew that plane to Uzbekistan.
To see some bad things happen over the coming years.
Yeah, he does seem to be talking about child brides with a tinge of jealousy, it seems.
Disgrace. In just the last few days, one Afghan national arriving in our country has been charged with sexually assaulting a child, another with strangling and beating his wife, and in New Mexico, a great, great place, by the way, a group of male Afghan evacuees reportedly ganged up on a female American service member and brutally assaulted her. Ask Germany, how are they doing?
Hold on. FBI investigating female. This is what he's talking about. FBI investigating female soldiers report that she was assaulted by Afghan refugees at military complex in New Mexico. The FBI confirmed Friday it is investigating an allegation of a U.S. soldier who reported being assaulted by a group of Afghan male evacuees at Fort Bliss, Dona Ana in New Mexico. The safety and well-being of our service members, as well as those of our all those on our installations, is paramount. We immediately provided appropriate care, counseling, and support to the service member. The FBI did not disclose the details of the alleged assault. Task Force for Evacuees at Fort Bliss is implementing additional security measures following the allegation, including additional lighting and enforcement of the buddy system complex assault at the complex allegedly where the assault took place. Earlier this month, the Department of Justice separately charged 2 Afghan males housed at Fort McCoy in Wisconsin with assault and sexual abuse. Barula Nouri, 20, was charged with attempted aggravated sexual abuse and sexual abuse. He knowingly engaged in sexual acts with a minor boy and attempted to engage in a sexual act with a separate minor boy, according to charging documents for the Department of Justice. Separately, Mohammed Ahmad was charged with assaulting his spouse by strangling her at Fort McCoy in Wisconsin on September 7th. According to the charging documents, the alleged victim survived the incident. The charging documents and statements from the FBI concerning the soldier's allegations mark the first reported instance of crime, in which has largely been a secure process. The United States Operation Allies has received over 50,000 special immigrant applications and vulnerable Afghans and is housing most of them at 8 U.S. military installations. The Department of Homeland Security runs the screening process for the evacuees, with some help from the Department of Defense, which is also housing evacuees at bases overseas. Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin said earlier this month the standard is to make sure everyone who enters the U.S. has been vetted and has been biometrically and biographically screened. No process is ever perfect, so if there's a blip in the screen or there's something somehow goes through, I think the system will very quickly follow up to make sure that's addressed. The Department of Defense helped evacuate over 120,000 people in 17 days. The head of the Operation Allies Welcome, Jack Markle, head of Operation Allies Welcome, Jack Markle, told reporters that over 12,000, 13,000 people currently housed at bases in Europe will arrive in the U.S. in early October. So they're finishing vetting those folks. Yeah. Awful. No way indicative of the rest of the Afghans that actually did help us. And they will be expelled, and it's a crime. Crimes happen. It's a terrible, terrible thing. So, yeah. Bye. But the Trump answer to this, by the way, is that because those 3 did that, no one comes. None of these people helped us. None of these people are worth saving. Yeah, we don't have a pre-crime unit. That's true. Yeah. Trump's like, why couldn't we arrest them before they committed the crime? Didn't he? Like, hold on. Trump suggests seizing guns. Yeah, here you go.
Yes, go ahead, Mike.
Well, the category, you spoke about this, gun violence restraining orders. They're
This
called.
is, by the way, this is from the Donald Trump pre-crime unit.
California actually has a version of this, and I think in your meeting with governors earlier this week individually, and
By the way, this is the meeting where he farted on Barbara Feinstein.
we spoke about states taking steps, but the focus is to literally give families and give local law enforcement additional tools if an individual is reported to be a potential danger to themselves or others. Allow due process, so no one's rights are trampled, but the ability to go to court,
Yes,
obtain
the nodding means he's thinking.
order, and then collect not only the firearms, but any weapons in the possession
Or
of that
might
individual.
take the firearms first and then go to court, because that's another system, because a lot of times by the time you go to court, it takes so long to go to court to get the due process procedures. I like taking the guns early, like in this crazy man's case that just took place in Florida. He had a lot of firearms. They saw everything. To go to court would have taken a long time. So you could do exactly what you're saying, but take the guns first.
By the way, any Second Amendment purists out there? Any Lauren Boebert fans that are cool with Trump's strategy here? Just for the record, this was while he was president. Remember, this is something he actually suggested. Can you? Sorry.
Man's case that just took place in Florida.
So you what?
He had a lot of
He
firearms.
did.
They
He's got a
saw
lot of
everything.
guns.
To go to court would have taken a long time.
Yeah.
So you could do exactly what you're saying, but take the guns first, go through due process second.
Yeah. So take the guns first, go through due process second. I mean, that way, if you've already got a crime there, I'm sure there's some maggots and Trumpsters that are trolling in our chat room on occasion that will see this clip at some point and go, wow, I truly support Trump in everything he does, and I love where he was on the Second Amendment. You know, where he was like, why don't we seize the guns first and then do due process?
They're not too happy. Ask Sweden, how are they doing? They want to tell you the nice liberal way, but it's not working out too well. Biden terminated.
By the way, there's a huge difference between like general immigration, like general mass immigration and the details and how whatever their process were for vetting people, and us bringing in SIV people, which again, this fucker should have vetted. The fact that we were behind on vetting people and vulnerable Afghans at all, was because he chose not to do his job.
Are very hard fought for travel ban. You remember the travel ban? Like, we don't want people coming from countries that want to destroy us, okay? You know, it's pretty simple. On terrorist
It is pretty stipple.
occupied countries that we went through the entire system to defend and won in the Supreme Court of the United States. This travel ban went on for 2 years of litigation, and I ended up winning in the Supreme Court of the United States. It was very tough because
all I had to do was deny the Democrats one person on there and then front load it with two lunatics, and I managed to get my thing through. It only took me 2 years to put people in place that would do my bidding.
This is people that want to blow up our stores.
Yeah, that's what they want to do. They want to blow up our stores. What do you think he really wanted to say? Shores? Blow up our shores? Come to our shores and blow up our stores? Fuck.
Because all it says is people that want to blow up our stores and blow up our streets and our cities.
Yeah, streets, stores, cities, shores, it all goes together. Blow up our streets and our cities.
People want to hurt people. People that don't love our country. We don't want you in the United States. That's the travel ban.
Oh, so Sergei Lavrov never allowed to come in the country again? Good news. Yeah. He wants to blow up our sores. Yes, absolutely. He's apparently got a couple that just won't heal.
And Biden is drastically increasing the number of so-called refugees who would be resettled in America and all over
Or actual refugees. Yeah.
American communities all over next year. He's expanding that number
to the same number it was under George Herbert Walker Bush.
But the travel ban was so strong. It was so good. When a country
It was strong and powerful and also beautiful. It was a beautiful, strong, powerful ban.
was angry at us, when they were bad, when they had people that wanted to blow our streets up and our stores up.
Oh my God, I'm so glad he said streets up.
Stores on fire and set our cities burning. We had a travel ban. We said, no, thank you. You MAGA, MAGA, MAGA. I mean, he is now officially ended the travel ban. It's a disgrace. He's doing nothing to hold the Chinese Communist Party accountable for unleashing the virus upon the world. Biden did not even say the word China in his UN speech
because everybody knew it and they were trying to be they weren't trying to be confrontational about it, but they've actually started in. Okay, by the way, this is what I opened up earlier. This is again. This could Trump have done this? Could Trump have done this? You think? Started an alliance with the U.S., the U.K., and Australia for nuclear-powered submarines? You think he could have done that? I mean, it would have pissed off France for a little while, but do you think he could have done it? He could have, materially. Was there anything different between calendar year 2021 and calendar year any of the years he was in office? Anything at all? I mean, there are obviously a couple of factors. He may have been too stupid to even contemplate the value of a move like that, or understand the world stage at all enough to think that that was helpful. He knew the Quad existed. He had a meeting with it. But he ditched it after a while. Kind of ignored it. But the idea that the US, the UK, and Australia would share technology on nuclear-powered submarines to push back against China in the Indo-Pacific region and help Taiwan and protect the waters around the South China Seas, that, there's nothing new about that. That technology's been around since 1950. We shared it with the Brits in 1956. We could have done this. Trump didn't think of it. Never occurred to him. Never fucking occurred to him.
Too compromised to take them on.
Oh, yes. Sorry, the 3-hour mark. Yeesh. All right. Shall we pause here? Where am I? 2:54:26. I went long today. I missed you guys. It was nice to be home. It sped by, I have to say. Lots of fun. Yes, it's almost time for Rachel. I'll let you guys go. It's perfect timing for me to dump out. I will see you guys tomorrow at our regular time. Thank you guys for joining me, and thanks for sharing our moments at the top of the show. I am totally comfortable sharing my emotions with you guys when they're genuine and not performative. Well, also when they are performative, but we're at 24.9. We're so close. I know, we're so close. Pass the show around, like and subscribe, hand it out. We'll finish the rest of this tomorrow. Also, some stuff that will come up from probably the vote on the infrastructure bill is probably going to go through sometime late tonight. So wish everybody at the Congress luck on that. They're doing yeoman's work this week. It's going to be crazy. I appreciate you guys a lot. I will let you guys go. Do a subathon. It's not a bad idea. That's a great idea, actually. Subathon just means I stay on as people sub. Right. I'm going to have to strategize when that is, because I got to sing over the next couple of weeks. I have a lot of music to do, and talking for 48 hours or some nonsense, or sleeping on screen will be a bit much. All right, I'm going to let you guys go. Thank you guys so much. Take care of yourself and take care of somebody else. Much love. And remember, the message of, let's see if I can bring it up real quick before I go. Here you go. Of Chip. Remember, Chip is always there to remind you that no matter where you think your paw is, it's probably sticking out of a small hole in a box. No, that's not what it's, you will always, anybody can be a boxer at any point in their life. No, you're never too young to box yourself in. I think that's the message. Is that it, Chip? No, what I was going to show you guys was just remind everybody that we congratulate Joe Biden on winning in Arizona for the 7th time. And my trip to Washington was fantastic. Okay, much love, everybody. Take care. I will see you tomorrow. Thanks so much. What is that noise? It's the alert box. I apologize. I don't know why it's on today and it wasn't before. We'll figure it out. Much love. I will talk to you later. Bye, everybody. See you later. Bye.